All right, all right, all right. Welcome everybody to the show tonight. Want to let everybody kind of know how this works. So we are live on YouTube tonight and on Facebook. Some live streams on YouTube, particularly on my Writing and Ozarks channel, will probably only be available for a short time. And then I'll take it down, maybe edit it up, and then I'll repost that as a podcast. So it'll be out there for people to go back and watch, and get the meat of the video and things like that, what we're going to talk about and stuff. But if you're catching this later on the podcast and you want to participate in the live audience and be here for the live show, then make sure you subscribe to YouTube to Writing in the Ozarks, and make sure you set that bell to be notified of all videos so you'll get notifications when we're doing lives. So anyway, I want to just welcome everybody. We got a great show tonight. I'm Mike. If you don't know who I am, we've got Firecracker up here in the corner, and then we've got Bagger Bader joining us. And tonight our special guest is Jeff from the world famous Cathouse, and he is going to talk about all things spring fling. So who wants to get this show started, man?
Well, I'm hoping that Jeff didn't get froze up.
Am I froze up?
No, you're back.
There he is. Now he's good.
How y'all doing, man?
Jeff,
Good.
great to see you, brother.
Good weather. I got to ride her Dinah today.
Ooh.
We're in Oklahoma today, man. Winds are kind of crazy, but the weather's been real nice up there in the Ozarks. We're getting back up there in the morning.
Right on. I took the bike home at lunch because they were talking about the storms might get here this afternoon, and that Dinah doesn't have a lot of protection. So I decided I'd just take it home at lunch and swap it out for the cage because I didn't want to get caught in a hailstorm on it. But I did. She's been riding the sport glide so much, the Dinah was getting lonely. It needed a little love.
They need that sometimes.
Hey, Joe, I something out though, but me and Steve are down here, man, and you can tell, like, I have a pretty nice house, but my background looks like shit. And I'm looking at Steve, and I know he's a clean guy. He got a pretty nice house. But then I look at Firecracker shit, and I don't even know what it is because I'm blind. But it's all nice, ink, you know what I mean? And highlights her beautiful face. And then Mike's got some purple going on there. Steve, where do we feel, man?
We're second fiddle, man. Yeah. I'm telling you. Yeah, we got to up our game, don't we?
For a consulting fee, I can help you with that lighting problem.
I should have a logo back here or something.
You do. Yeah, it's what you need. You just need to broadcast live from the Cathouse and let that be your background. That's the best-selling background you can have.
Well, fiber optics going in there 2 to 3 weeks, and that will solve a tremendous amount of problems we have with those old historic buildings, and that's all on the agenda, man. You know, things move a little bit slower in the Ozarks.
Well, I'm glad to hear you guys are getting that. That'll be great. It'll be good for you to be able to do live streams there and to be able to, have other people there on the Wi-Fi, then be able to get out and connect and do live streams and things like that. I know in the past like Bob and Tam did a live stream from there one year and stuff. So it'll just make your venue all that much better.
We talk about the scenery and how beautiful it is down there in Northwest Arkansas, but when you walk into the Cathouse and you see those Cathouse girls, whoo, they just get a whole lot better real quick.
Sorry about
no,
my mom did on a live stream across the United States. She made me come in and kiss her.
Hey, cool. Moms always come first.
Okay, go on. So I'm sorry I missed that.
I was just telling about how the scenery inside the Cathouse is pretty damn good.
No, that's we talk about that all the time, and I don't want to, I don't want to just go over and over the point, but I mean, in today's, people have choices of where they want to spend their money, and and to go to certain rallies or not go to certain rallies. I just want people to know from our standpoint of it, when it comes to Eureka and Eureka Springs and Northwest Arkansas and really all of Arkansas, it's just, you hear about the Keys, you hear about Sturgis and Galveston and all these great places, great rallies and stuff like that. But Arkansas is this quiet little gem. You know what I mean? It's got great roads, there's great tourism there, great restaurants. And sometimes, and I know me and Angela get it when we're in Florida a lot. We'll be at a resort and somebody will say, "Where are you from?" People say, "Oh, New York, Ohio, California." And they'll say, "Hey, where are you guys from?" "Arkansas." Now, I don't have a voice like I'm from Arkansas, number one, so they don't necessarily believe it. The New Yorkers come with them, the California people, you know what I mean? So but then people say, yeah, right. You know what I mean? So people have this connotation of Arkansas, and it's really Arkansas came a long ways. They have some of the most beautiful roads. We have huge industries there. You know what I mean? And then the tourism always has been a central part of Arkansas. So not just for motorcyclists and everything else, but for everybody there. There's something for everybody to do. There's great lakes, waterfalls, rivers. It's really an outdoor state. So we just want to get people to come there and enjoy what we have to offer. That's where Spring Fling comes from.
Well, speaking of Spring Fling, there's the poster. So let's talk about this for just a second here. For anybody that might not already know, because it's possible we might have someone new in here that does not know. Spring Fling this year is April 20th to the 23rd. This is your 7th annual Spring Fling in Eureka Springs, and you got a lot of people stepping up this year and helping you this year. I know Switchback and Rock and Pig and Pig Trail and the Cathouse. You guys are all working together to put on this event in Eureka Springs. We talk about the Cathouse, but all these places are doing stuff and making this thing not just a Cathouse thing, but a Eureka Springs thing. And so you've got on here that there's a CVMA breakfast and bike blessing. We've got the Miss Spring Fling contest, which I'm sure is taking place at the Cathouse. There's the Moto meetup and the parade of bikes, a 420 blowout show contest. Some other good stuff. There's the Hog Wild Run on Saturday, and Adam's got his thing. I think are they starting at the Cathouse and heading to Pig Trail from there, Jeff?
No. So Adam's thing. So for the Great American Convoy part of it, and that's what's cool. And I really want to thank Adam for blessing us with making that a starting point. I mean, he really cut down his schedule to be very short to make sure he launched from Spring Fling, which was very important to him because if you don't know the history, I mean, Adam was very new in his career, when we started Spring Fling. So we asked for him to help us a little bit, and he was new in his career, and he took a chance on us. And so he has what I mean. He helped with this thing too. So I mean, he made his schedule very short and launched on made it to where he would leave at Spring Fling to end in Milwaukee. So his deal works like this. So on Friday night, what he's going to do is, and I'm not sure if he's taking a group of people from where he's going to be during Friday day, but he's going to end up at Switchback Bar, because Switchback on Friday nights have always done this thing where they ride up to our bar when they close, and the YouTubers that are there, the Facebook and content creators that are there, join them at the Cathouse. And then we pick you guys out to do the Miss Spring Fling contest usually, you know what I mean? And then we go from there, and then we get you guys all together, and we find the common bonds, not the ambulance chasers that drive you apart and all that other crap. You know what I mean? It's the common things that pull you together. You know what I mean? And it's what rallies were made about, the people, because everybody comes together and they have a good time. What happens at the Cathouse stays at the Cathouse. I'll end it there. So but on Friday nights, what Adam will do from between 8 and 10, whatever time they end at the Switchback, because sometimes they end a little bit later, he's going to ride from the Switchback and do a parade of bikes. We really want to make this a parade this time. Parade of bikes from the Switchback to the Cathouse, where it's whoever content creators night. But Adam's doing a meet and greet. The Badgers are doing a meet and greet. Mike, you're doing a meet and greet. I'm sure Bert, the biker dog, will be at that meet and greet. All the content creators, whether you're big, small, whether you're staying in one of the YouTube houses, be there Friday night. That's where you guys can meet people in your industry, and then we can all be together, and do the same thing. And that's what the Cathouse wants to be a part of. And then Saturday at Pig Trail, the 22nd, from 10 to 12, Adam's taking off from there. And Kyle sponsored Adam, and so we, for the Great American Convoy, which will start from Pig Trail on Saturday morning between 10 and 12. And we encourage everybody to be a part of that, whether you're here in Arkansas, Missouri, Florida, New York, California, wherever, because he's going to go by and touch each one of those states. And the most important thing is we're raising money for American veterans. And the thing is, that money goes right to them. Adam don't take that money and say divide it up. Kyle don't. Nobody gets their hand in the pockets. Your guys goes right to Wounded Warriors, man. And if you guys check them out, man, it's a great charity, man. They do what they're supposed to do. And, I'm just telling you, man, I got a grandson now that's a Marine. So this whole military thing, and I'm not going to go into it because I'm a big old sappy dude, but I'm just telling you, there's one thing I take pretty seriously because, I came up from the era of the kids that they've seen their parents coming home from Vietnam. And I'm telling you, man, I take this stuff pretty seriously. So I want to make sure if we're involved, we're doing the best we can. Steve, you know what I'm talking about. You've been around for a while.
Yep, absolutely. Yeah. Jeff, every time I come down, you make a little time for me, even though you're super busy. And it's always fun to talk to you. And your sincerity just oozes through you.
So, Carrie's in the chat over here, and she said her connection is not very good, but Switchback is in the house. Let's do this. Looking forward to seeing y'all at Spring Fling. Witchcraft Cycle says they're going to be there for the meet and greet. I'm sure Road Rush Nation's in the side chat. I know she's talking about coming, so I'm sure she'll be there as well. Yeah, there she put, I'll be there. And she made the comment that Spring Fling is special. It's not the same old rally. And, there's a lot of things that make Eureka Springs and Spring Fling special to us. I mean, April bought her Sport Glide, from Kyle at Pig Trail. We met Adam for the very first time at the Cathouse several years ago. My relationship with you, Jeff, is always going to make this special for me. The first time we talked was on the phone and over the internet before I ever got to come meet you in person and stuff. And I'd been to your bar, but I hadn't ever met you, before that and stuff. And so, Spring Fling is, and we've had this conversation before, but what some rallies are about vendors and, about other things. Spring Fling is about relationships and riding. It's about hanging out with people, like-minded people, being part of that community and enjoying some of the best roads in the middle of the United States. Plain and simple. It's that easy.
Look, bro, I've came from a very old school environment, and I am blessed with having a wife that really takes a prideful, hard-working, bust her ass attitude at the Cathouse. And her biggest reward, which in turn just twists my heart, man, is when she comes and she sees y'all. When she sees April in the hallway of our hotels upstairs with JS doing, that's my favorite picture when they're doing the fake motorcycle thing. I share it all the time, don't I, April? You know what I mean? Those little things like that is what makes it, all that hard work, something about the restaurant business, hard, all that other stuff. These rallies is where we get to put our best foot forward, bring you guys into our hometown, have a little bit of time to spend with y'all, and then show you what the kind of people we're really about. And I'm telling you, as far as all this Facebook shit and all this other stuff, and man, it's not my game. You know what I mean? I understand, and I do this because I want to get as many people around and to make the rally big for the people that I'm involved with, because I feel like I have an obligation to them. But other than that, it's you guys. It's Steve, man. That's how I met Steve. You know what I mean? It's you, Mike. I met you through this rally. You know what I mean? It's, and I met Adam, not through the rally. I met him a little bit before that, but he helped me build this rally. He always said one of his things when I first met him, if you ever need anything, I'll be there for you, sir, because he was barely starting out. And I said, hey, I called him one time from California. I called him in California. He was in California. I said, hey, man, I think I'm doing the Spring Fling rally. Can you be here? He rode his ass all the way back to Arkansas to make that first rally for me because he had promised me in a year before that he'd help me sometime. That's what I think this rally is about, man. This world is so fucked up nowadays, man. People talk shit on the internet. You got this thing going on, this politics, whatever. For 3 or 4 days, man, come check that shit out of your mind. Be respectful to people. Imagine how much respect and love you're going to get back and come have fun. Leave the drama at home for your mama is what I say, man.
So Jeff, I want to make this public announcement right now. Steve graciously agreed to stand in for me at the Miss Spring Fling contest as a judge this year. And, since Firecracker and I are living under the same roof, I'm going to oblige him with that. So don't even call me, just pull bagger baiter off to the side. And he's my stand-in, and that way I don't have to worry about waking up in the morning with, scars.
Well, Steve,
So
that's
yeah, go ahead, Jeff.
I'm sorry, Steve. You can answer that. Good.
No, I'm just saying. Yeah, if I was lucky enough to be a judge, you know, those gals could probably work ways to get a favorable score from me.
What he's saying is he can be bought.
I could be,
What he's saying, in case those girls
or you could just say I'm a whore.
Hey, so check this out. Speaking of the Miss Spring thing, we've always done a big cast thing and stuff like that, and it's been cool, but it's just kind of got boring. So what we did this year is we're doing $500 on a trip to Vegas, and that's going to get added on to little things each and other time. I think some other people are giving up another gift certificate in Vegas for an exclusive dinner, another thing going on. Plus, we want to really tie that trip in to where there's a rally in Vegas or near Vegas called Street Vibrations, actually in Reno. We'd really like to do it about that time, you know what I mean, and do some video stuff in it and stuff like that. And there's some more deals going on. So the prize for Miss Spring Fling this year is really growing and growing each day, and it's going to be something different this year. And part of it's going to be a media contract, a small one, you know what I mean, for Miss Spring Fling.
Well, Road Rush Nation says I'm a big chicken. I just say I'm, want to maintain a happy household. So, call me what you will, but smart is the way I'm seeing it. But JS, on the other hand, he said he would like to keep his judge spot. I'll be happy to record, and then I can move around and record and do all that good stuff while Steve sits in the chair.
I want to go to Vegas.
Well, you're going to have to probably find a skimpy outfit.
Well, so that's the thing we're going to hit on too, and I want to bring this up. So we also adopted a local charity this year, Grandma's House. It's a local Arkansas charity. It's for the kids, the older ones and stuff like that. It's just like the last chance stop place for them. They're another great entity. So at Switchback Boyums, you'll be able to buy tickets. I think during Carrie's Hog Wild Run. You'll also be able to buy tickets from Kyle at the Harley Davidson dealerships, and then there's a giveaway too. They're giving away a trip to I think Cancun, and there's multiple things in there. It's trip to Cancun. I know it's a 2-night stay, I think, at our place. There's multiple prizes on there, and it's a $20 raffle ticket. All the money goes straight to Grandma's house, and that'll be a big part of everything. And we'd like everybody. We know that we have the most supportive customers and rally enthusiastic in the land, and we just want to put it out there.
So you mentioned on the flyer here, 420 blowout show contest. I'm guessing that's a Thursday night contest. Is that what that is?
Well, it's 420. You know what I mean? And I guess I'm learning what you can say and not say on YouTube and Facebook. You know what I mean? So if you want to
be a part of it, be there on Thursday night.
Yeah, and we have the stunt riders. KC, the stunt riders are going to be there for Kyle at Kyle's place on Friday and Saturday. I'm getting them up there in front of my bar on Thursday night, and there might be some things happen there that could be YouTube worthy. We're going to say, you know what I mean? So
some content opportunities.
Cool.
Well, yeah, we'll keep that. I mean, you got to come to see it. You know what I mean? I think there might be a to-go order delivered on a motorcycle that might ride through the whole Cathouse bar. Could happen. You know what I mean? I'm not sure. I don't want to give anybody's. Yeah, it's Thursday night. But if you know those stunt rider guys, man, they're a young group of guys. Casey and stuff. Casey actually works at Kyle's, but those guys really dig what they do, man. And those kids just really love. I mean, kids, young men. Those guys really know how to throw them Harleys around, and they're very capable, very professional. And we're gonna have them at the Cathouse Thursday night, 420. We're gonna have a blowout there, and could it be a tire? You know what I mean? I guess it could be anything you want to have there, but there's gonna be lots of hors d'oeuvres and munchies, and salsa and stunt riders and girls shooting pictures for next year's calendar that are having blowout type outfits. Maybe April can tell us what a blowout type outfit is on a female. You know, maybe she knows. I don't know. You know,
She's probably not gonna wear it, but maybe she did get a purple leather halter top, kind of what's that called, babe?
Corset.
Yeah, she got a corset at Sturgis a few years ago, and I'm hoping Ron Sheets is talking to her. So he says you look nice tonight. So Road Rush Nation said that her daughter lives in Vegas, so we got a place to stay. We just need to go. So you might want to message her. She might be inviting you on a road trip.
hey, is she isn't she a little YouTuber or content?
Yeah, Road Rush Nation is out of the Kansas City area. Steve and I got to they were at the $5,000 poker run last year and stuff, and she's been on streams, and they are coming to Spring Fling. She'll be down there. She said she'll be at the content creator meet and greet.
What? I mean, does she got a place to stay? Does she need to be hooked up with the content creators or what?
Well, I'll reach out to her, and
why don't you reach out to her and let me know?
I'll reach out to her and let you know. I know Busted Knuckles is coming. I don't know what day he's getting there, but he's a confirmed. And Bert the Biker Dog, you said was a confirmed. Will be there. JS in the chat is a confirmed. He'll be there. Ozark HD Riders is not staying in the house, but he'll be at Spring Fling, so I expect to see him there on Friday night probably. And Sinister Clutch, I know, is going to be in town. And I know we've got some other people that are looking at coming. What'd you say, Jeff?
Richcraft Cycles is going to be there.
Richcraft Cycle Works will be there. Yeah. That Bill and Ray, they were in the chat earlier. I'm hoping they're still here.
I'm telling you, that's another thing, Mike. It's and you too, Steve, because some people come up and drop your name too. You know that. But what the guys, the people that come up to me, you know, because I sit out my joint in front of during big events because I want to feel the pulse of the crowd. And when people come up that introduce themselves and say, yeah, I'm a friend of Mike's, or Steve, you too, man. When they say, yeah, you remember me? I met you through Steve Bates, or I'm a friend of Steve Bates. I went on his thing. I'm telling you, every person I met that drops y'all's names, man, just consummate professionals are just good people. You know what I mean? Those are a perfect example of spring flingers and people that are just badass to be with. Got some badass shovelheads, Ray and Bill, you know, Witchcraft Cycles. Good people, man. They were on my porch this weekend. You know what I mean? Just came up there out of the blue. And we got to spend some quality time with them, man. And when you sit down, I mean, it's just, you know, that's my favorite part, man. You know what I mean?
I've known Bill about 8 years now. And that shovel head that he brings and rides, he picked it up from the same guy that we bought her purple Dyna from on the same day. So me and him were both at that shop buying bikes at the same time. And he's a great guy. But the guy who sold him that shovelhead told him to rip the heart out of that bitch and bury it in the backyard, because it was that he was a mechanic, a certified Harley mechanic, and he's like, this thing needs to go. But Bill's a glutton for punishment, man. He just likes a hard time because he just keeps fighting that shovelhead and keeping it on the road.
Yeah, but he's another one, man, and just like y'all, man, he's another one. You can't buy his integrity. You know what I mean? You're just
you can buy him a shot.
Yeah, I got you. But you're not going to pay to put words in that mouth that guy thinks tastes like shit. I mean, he's just not going to do that. You know what I mean? So, yeah. And that's what I like about them guys. Hey, but one other thing I keep on forgetting to mention. So we have updated the website pretty good now, and you can tag it right off the Facebook page, but springflingrally.com. So Andy and Carrie from Switchback, I'm going to get a list of their events. I know they got Naked Jake. They got Donnie. I don't know all the bands. I just don't keep them on. They've got something planned every day, every hour out there. I know Kyle's got things going on at the Eureka Springs Harley Davidson. The vendors will be there. The stunt show will be there. And I'm going to have all those events put on by Friday of everybody's events that they have going on right now. Now, there are things, you know, after Arizona Bike Week, I noticed today I got calls from all over. People are realizing, hey, man, I'm coming to Arizona Bike Week, and then I'm driving all the way back to Florida for this other no-name rally I'm not going to mention. And then I've got some calls today to say, hey, Jeff, what would you do for us? And so I think this thing is growing leaps and bounds. And I just want to make sure that we're getting all the kudos in the right places.
Right on. Yeah. I've never been to Arizona Bike Week. I got a friend that's out there this week though. He sent me a couple pictures. They're not YouTube friendly.
Uh-huh.
He runs a dyno drag racing rig. I don't know if you've seen him anywhere. He bought it about a year and a half ago. It's all out dyno drags. He came to our little rally last year and set it up. But two guys pull up in a trailer and race against the clock against each other. But he can give you your quarter mile times, your reaction speeds, all this stuff. He's not doing dyno tuning. He's doing dyno racing and stuff.
That's cool.
And yeah, maybe down the road sometime if somebody is looking for something like that at one of the events and stuff, let me know. I can put you in touch with him. But he was at Arizona Bike Week, and he must have got a break somehow because the picture he sent me, he was in a tent, and he was the only guy in the picture, but there was at least 6 women hanging off of him.
Yeah. I've understood. I mean, you look at, I don't think if you notice, that's one of the rallies that there's not a lot of live feedback from there unless Bob and Tam are there. You know what I mean? Bob and Tam will find a video somewhere.
Adam posted a pretty good short of a bar there this week. I saw that.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think there's a lot of things going on there that's not content friendly with that little blur in the screen, but that's okay. That's a good time.
And speaking of Bob and Tam, I got them too, man. Because Bob is an ornery fucker, but I like him. You know what I mean? He's good. You know what I mean? And Tam I love, but. So I got them coming for Bikes, Blues, and Barbecue, and they're going to do their whole little pre-Sturgis deal, where they give all that information and stuff like that. And they're pretty good people, actually, man. They do a lot. I guess they're bouncing around Florida with breaking news about Sturgis and shit like that. And they do give us some plugs out there. You know what I mean? So, I mean, they're good people, man. I like them too.
Yeah, they came to Bike Fest a few years ago. We got to hang out with them at our meet and greet and stuff. So, yeah, they're good people. And did you know they're from Missouri?
I know that, bro. They think that you guys are like related or something. Bob's crazy. You know what I mean? My buddy.
It's surprising how many content creators are from this area. I mean, myself not included because I don't think I'm that noteworthy, but Bob and Tam are from the St. Louis area. Pro Monkey's from the St. Louis area. There's that chick, Queen something. Oh. I don't know her, but yeah, she's Queen in the St. Louis area.
Queen Set.
Yeah, Queen Set. And Adam's not from St. Louis, but he's here in the Ozarks now. Moyers, I mean, I'd say Moyers is his home. So
yeah. Hey, well, the thing is, it's funny. I want to tell you this, and I didn't think about it till just now. So Bob, he gives you a lot of information and stuff like that. But if you notice, even on his show, he just doesn't give out a bunch of compliments. You know what I mean? He just don't. He'll even tell you, man. He goes, it'd be better to ask me what I didn't like about it. I mean, he's funny as shit. I love him, because at least he's honest. I can deal with it. But one person, man, again, bro, he was like, yeah, that Mike. What is he? That riding with the. And I said, riding with those? Like, that's him. I said, he goes, man, that guy's a good guy, man. I like to be around him. He really took care of us and stuff like that. I thought, damn, that must be pretty good. You get a compliment out of Bob like that. You know what I mean?
Well, here's a comment from the Wagonator, and we actually have met them multiple times in person. They came up to us at the local Harley dealer a few years ago, and first time or a year and a half ago, maybe we got to meet them, and then they've come and supported some events. They're in our area and stuff, and they're coming down for Spring Fling. They just wanted us to know that this will be their first time down, but they're coming down. We've got some other friends who came last year for their first time, and they're coming back this year, Melissa and Brian. And, of course, when I was talking about content creators, I didn't mean to diss anybody because we've got JS and Witchcraft Cycle Works and, Ozark HD Riders. There's, a lot of content creators here in the Midwest that I think are, top-notch people. I mean, no doubt about it.
No, you're right. You're
Road
right.
Rush Nation out of Kansas City, River Bluff Baggers, I mean, I don't know, maybe I just more aware of the ones that are from my area, but I mean, it seems like we have kind of a thing going on here. Maybe it's because we have such great roads to ride. We're all, want to share that lifestyle and share this environment. But
Hey Jeff, I got a question for you. So being here in Kansas City, and you guys only being 3.5 hours away, I've had a lot of people who aren't rally guys. They, oh, I don't want to be around all that, and it's too big and it's too this, that, and the other. And I've said, hey, check out Spring Fling. It's a little smaller, not quite as much chaos going on, and just try it out. And I've had a number of people come back and say, oh my God, that was a blast. And with that said, do you kind of have a crystal ball of how you want to see this thing continue to evolve, or is it where you want it to be, or would you like to see it bigger? Or
That's a good question, Steve, man. I go back and forth about this, man. Because Eureka Springs, it has a cap on it after a certain point, you know what I mean? Just because of the, logistics and stuff like that. But, I've always wanted to get racing up on the hill in some form or fashion. You know what I mean? Whether it be the drag bikes or the flat track or something, just because to me, the biggest rallies and the reason I even started going to rallies was we just went to some no place land because we went out there and raced, or we went to the lake and stuff like that. And then from there, what it does, I really don't want it to become too commercialized. You know what I mean? I think some of those things get lost track, and then people are fighting over politics and, who represents who. I can't go there. I can't put you on this. I can't do that. I didn't grow up in any world that it has anything to do with our can't. My kids will tell you when they're my boys, and I used to have them do push-ups if they ever said the word or little. You say the word can't hit. Yeah, Eureka Springs is a great location, and for this rally, I think it's gonna handle its own growth. Do I ever think it'll be like Laconia? I kind of, if I was thinking about a rally that I'd compare it to, I'd say Laconia. Laconia, there's a lot of people go there, but it's pretty much the same every year. It's a small town. I'm going to compare it to that. Will we ever get BBB style? No, I don't think so. I mean, we're just, I just don't see it. BBB does that well. Sturgis big? No, I don't think so. Do I think more promoters and people that have bars and are in this industry are not learning about Eureka and how cheap the land is? Do I see a Michael Ballard or a Chuck or something like that building a bigger entity in and around Eureka Springs or the Ozarks? Mike knows that there's rumors that those guys are looking around and doing something in the Ozarks. Do I think that could happen? It possibly could. And if that does, yeah, then things will get bigger. But, man, it's this rally right now to where we're at and where we're going to be in the next 3 years, where everybody kind of knows each other. They, you know what I mean? It's all friends of friends of friends of friends. I think this rally's grown organically, and I think that's the way I think it'll grow healthy like that. I guess answer to your question, Steve.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think, like you said, racing would be a cool thing, an afternoon of hill climbs or, dirt racing or, dirt drags, just something like that. If you could find a good spot for something like that, but you don't want to, you want to add to it as the rally grows. You want to bring another thing as you need another day of activities.
Yeah. Organic.
And you want people to have time to ride Northwest Arkansas.
Yeah.
Yeah. I promise you this, Steve, as long as I'm around the Cathouse, and I'm pretty sure Andy and Carrie feel the same way at the Switchback, and we got Kyle working with us and stuff like that. We want this rally to be about our area, the Northwest Arkansas, and about everybody. Those three people I just mentioned right there have no problem with sharing and being a part of everything with everybody. And that's what I want to grow up from, because if once you start letting certain kinds of money in where people are looking at dollars instead of people, that's where things get tricked off, sometimes. And I just don't want that to happen. You know what I mean? To where some lawyers are negotiating contracts or whatever. Spring Fling is about a little bit of debauchery, a lot of motorcycles, and everybody having fun. And that's the way it grew on, and that's what we want to grow that on. It's not about how many vendors are there or whatever. And trust me, I know that's a part of the game now, and I think we offer all that. And those things will probably grow because vendors want to come where the people are. You know what I mean? But as far as how I want it to grow, I want it to grow with people. Steve, you always bring somebody with you. I see you too during the midweek on Mondays and Tuesdays. You don't always like the big old crowds either. You're like me, and I tell people that, hey, if you heard about us at the spring fling and can't make it or don't like the crowds, that's fine. Come the next weekend after. It's a lot quieter. You can get around. We can show you the town. You know how it is when you're not here. You'll probably catch Andy and all them and Carrie up at the bar, sitting on my patio, having a few drinks and going on some kind of ride they'll take you on. I mean, that's the kind of town Eureka is, and that might be the best time to come. We're just using this as a vehicle to get you here and through our doors all year long.
So I'm going to pose a question for Firecracker, and I Jeff, you see what you think of her answer. I want to know, Firecracker, because you've been awful quiet. What is it that appeals to you about Spring Fling as a female rider, or just the things you like? I mean, I probably know the answer to this, but not everybody in the audience does. And since you're being so quiet tonight, I'm going to put you on the spot.
Yeah.
I guess mainly just everybody I've met, and of course the Italian restaurant and the Cathouse food, but mainly, especially last year, during BBB, I got to do more of the riding on my own bike, and the roads are great. But my favorite thing is just meeting people from all over the place and just getting to know people. Is that good enough for you?
Well, it's not gonna matter.
Is that
Good enough.
is that what you thought I was gonna say?
I think for you, it's the party, the people, the excitement. I mean, the riding's definitely becoming more of a thing for you now that you've gotten the Sport Glide and you're more comfortable, I think. But I think before that, she likes to go out and have a good time, meet people, listen to good music, eat good food, and
and then go be a shit show.
Yeah,
No.
she's been a shit show once or twice.
No. Hey, can I ask her a question, Mike?
Absolutely.
Hey, Firecracker, check this out. I know, you know what I mean, and I duck and dodge around there. When you're at the Cathouse, man, and it's out on the patio, it's Friday or Saturday night, and the bulk of the people from the rally are there and stuff like that, and you're running around with your little crew, whether it's Ray or Judy or you got your 4 little homies running around, you got a couple drinks in you. Do you feel safe at the Cathouse? Yeah. And when you're there, do you meet people that are like and similar kind of with you? Good.
I'm just one of those people. I usually don't let things bother me. Like there's plenty of times we've been places and Mike's nervous over something. I'm like, I'm a big girl. I can handle myself. But I've never felt like I wasn't safe at the Cathouse at all. We have been some places that I really had to keep my eyes open and stuff. But I've never felt that way there.
And then when especially when you're giggling and you got that smile going on and stuff, haven't you had I've seen y'all, especially in the front part of the bar. You always meet some girl you guys drag along and help get to her car or whatever and take care of them, take underneath your wing every time you're there. So I know you meet a new friend.
I'm pretty protective of my friends, let alone, but I mean, I'm one of those people that once I get a couple drinks in me, I'm a little more talkative and alive than what I am normally.
Yeah.
Hey, speaking of security, Jeff, I remember the first time I saw you, and for those that haven't seen him yet, he's an imposing figure. And he sits out front on this little stool, and I looked at him and I go, "That's a big pipe hitting motherfucker right there." and what I'm saying about this is, you set the tone, and you're basically saying, "Have fun, but stay in your lane."
Well, yeah. I grew up on the West Coast, and I've lived all over the place and stuff like that, and I've made it this 57 years by number one. And if I ever have done this to anybody, please let me know. But I'm all about respect and knowing where it is, and You know what I mean? I would never disrespect anybody's joint. Mike's took me and introduced me to places at the Ozarks. Steve, you took me to places. You Adams, you know, rally there, man. I don't do security there, but we bring our girls down there and stuff like that. And that crowd gets pretty rowdy. But I can usually talk to a man and get along with them one way or another. But yeah, you know, I'm not gonna cross the bridge with anybody, but I give a lot of respect and I expect the same in return. But I usually get that, man. I have very few incidents at the Cathouse.
You know, we were talking about how Spring Fling could grow, and Ray made a comment here, and it kind of sparked an idea in my head. You know, so Ray said, "Firecracker on two wheels." Trust me, she can talk, and that comes back from. So we got to hang out with Ray at Cycle Showcase. I don't know if you saw the video I dropped a couple of days ago about Cycle Showcase and Monkey, and I mentioned Ray and Dallas. That they're in the chat. They were there, and Zan Biker and stuff, but. You know, so he got to hang out with her in a bar on a Friday night, kind of like a Cathouse type, you know, it's a totally different bar, but that kind of vibe, you know, everybody's bikers, everybody's hanging out, having a good time, having a drink, band's playing, and we're all just visiting and stuff. And anyway, that's kind of where that comment comes from. But, you know, that was a really, really cool show. And I kind of feel like biker shows, chopper shows, and stuff like that are making a comeback, bigger and or at least they're getting more press than they were. You know, the Donnie Smith show, Cycle Showcase, the Daytona, you know, Pro Monkey one with Brown Sugar and stuff. But he was showing the bike shows and the chopper shows down there. And Cycle Source magazine that does shop talk on Sunday nights, they talk about the chopper shows here and there and stuff. And you know, they've got the Arizona Bike Week. They had the you know, chopper showdown or whatever it was that they were doing. They've been doing that for Arizona Bike Week, and Clockworks of Brian Clock and Paul Yaffe and all those guys built choppers for that. And next year, I think they're talking about doing that ride and doing that deal at Sturgis and stuff. But, you know, maybe racing's, I know, got a lot of liabilities that go along with that whole, you know, environment. You know, you got insurance and waivers, you got to have a place for it and stuff. But, you know, maybe something like a Cycle Showcase bike show and reveal there, you know, one day or something. That would be a really cool thing to bring to Eureka Springs. And, you know, next year, if you want to, you know, you want to come to Cycle Showcase with us in February, it's on Super Bowl weekend. We'll introduce you to the guy that's doing Cycle Showcase in Missouri, because I hear that he is looking to branch out, and they're talking about doing like a Cycle Showcase here and there and doing his style show. And I don't know if he's going to be in charge of them or they're just kind of using his format or what, but you know, something like that would be really cool. You know, a chopper show, you know, on one day or one afternoon. And like what they did at Cycle Showcases, they had some bikes there that have never been seen before. They're under a black sheet, and he unveils them at that show. And that's the first time they are seen. And I posted some pictures of them, and some of those bikes went later to the Donnie Smith show and stuff. So, but they were seen at Cycle Showcase first, you know, so maybe get in with some of those crowds, get some of those custom builders or something to do a show down there, or bring a couple of bikes down or something. That would be doing an exhibition of, you know, custom builds or something. That'd be a cool thing.
Well, that. I mean, always since day one in our vision was to have a, you know, the baddest custom bike show. But just like you said, and just like the names you made, they are becoming more popular, and they're just everywhere now. And you really got to have a name tied to it. So I'll tell you, I'm going to throw it out there. I've been trying to contact and through different sources and, you know, whatever. And Billy Lane, he's one of the few people. I don't have a lot of contacts in Florida. I mean, I only was there for a short time, but I've always wanted Billy Lane to do it because he's right here in Tennessee and stuff like that. But, you know, that's going to be my goal this year. I'll tell you, there's a guy named Charlie Fagan, man. He's from right here in Missouri, Galena, Missouri.
June 10th.
Yeah, he's a guy that's really impressing me. He's a local guy. I'm probably going to reach out to Charlie because I know he'll say yes. I don't want to put him on the spot, but I'm going to probably have him see if he'll run the bike show this year and if he'll just take that underneath his wing, because that's what he loves to do. Maybe I set my goals a little bit too high. Maybe I thought, you know, maybe I did. You know what I mean? I mean, that's reality. I make mistakes too, but I'm really impressed with this guy I'm meeting. His name's Charlie Fagan. We've actually going to work with him on the Ozark Mountain Rumble come June 9th and 10th. And that's what he loves to do. He also helps a bunch of kids that are in need and stuff like that. It's really impressive. I think he runs a great group. I mean, he doesn't want anything negative on there. He doesn't let people downgrade each other. He's very on top of it. Guy's been highly impressive. So that's who I'm going to reach out to this year to help with the bike show. Because again, I set maybe my goals a little too high this year, and I'm at the last minute. I'm scrambling for a bike show guy. My wife's got the awards in here, all the stuff, and we don't even have a name on it yet. So Charlie's who I'm going to reach out to, and I'm telling you, I think that guy is probably going to do a great job at it if he'll say yes, and that's you're right, and I want to tell you, Mike, that's part of the kind of little stuff we're dealing with. It's just happened over the last few years, like you mentioned, John Shope and Yaffe and all those guys, and that bike show they do and stuff like that. Well, that bike show this year, I think I could be wrong, was actually in Cave Creek. Well, now I guess from whatever they're saying, because everybody's, again, it's because all this, everybody's a company now. I guess it's Arizona Bike Week and Cave Creek Bike Week. It's not one anymore. You know what I mean? Because I guess you can say certain things on whatever. And I could be wrong about that, you know what I mean, or whatever. But I know that there was some deal about that. Cave Creek's Bike Week is not affiliated with Arizona's Bike Week.
Maybe and we've had this conversation, and sponsorships and all this stuff gets in the way sometimes. I mean, everybody's got to find a way to fund events and make things happen, and I get that. But then it's got to be, well, my logo's not on it, so you can't use this and you can't use that, and it's part of this industry and part of what happens in business, and everybody's got to pay the light bill. I mean, you've got to buy hamburgers so I can eat. That's just the facts.
Yeah.
You got to buy Reuben's because Firecracker's going to want one. That's just it when we come.
I think that's the question Steve was asking. Like, Jeff, what did you want to see? That's what I don't want to see. You know what I mean? That's exactly what I don't want to see. Right now, I can call you. I can call Andy and Carrie. I can call Kyle. I can call anybody that's involved with this rally that is helping or will do something. I can call them, and it's taken care of. I don't have to wait for a board of directors or a meeting or sponsorships lawyer to get back to me or nothing like that. That is not what I want. I don't want nothing to do with that crap. You know what I mean? I just think that, I get you. Everybody likes having a cell phone. I mean, in some way, form, or fashion, we're contributing into it right now. I got you. But man, I want for 3 days, 4 days of your life to slow down. Let's talk about Emilio's Firecracker, the Mexican restaurant. Let's go get the garlic bread. You know what I mean? Let's bike and go to the lake, and when you're feeling flirtatious and drinking some tequilas, to get a picture of you in the corset next to the bridge. You know what I mean?
On my personal,
now we're getting somewhere.
On my personal Facebook page, my profile picture is the back of my vest and the back of her vest with my arm around her, staring across Beaver Lake. And that's been my profile picture for like 2 years now, because we did that down there. We went out there together. We sat on the rocks. We stared at the lake. A friend of ours took a picture of us from behind. I had my arm around her. We were just taking in the environment, and it's one of my favorite pictures because every time I see it, it reminds me of that experience, and stuff. And that's what Eureka Springs is, Road Rush Nation. I don't know if you saw it earlier. She mentioned that they went to Eureka Springs and they liked it so much they got married there. Witchcraft Cycle Works got married there. There's a theme going on here. Something in the water down there, but whatever.
I tell you, the Cathouse performed weddings. I'm just fucking with you. No, I'm just kidding.
We ain't drinking the water down there.
Living with me is changing her tune, ain't
it? Hey, Jeff, I haven't heard anything about this, but you mentioned a bar to me several miles outside of town, out east, and it was a husband and wife, I think, that ran a little bar, and it's Jim's or something. And is it still around, or did they?
No, man. Jim's burnt down.
Oh,
and, he's trying to rebuild it back. No insurance. and actually his wife, and now works at Cathouse. She's actually Angela's assistant. She's actually that's how we met them. You know what I mean? And I called her just because, you know, it's so hard to find labor. I called him and asked if she would even entertain it. And I'm telling you, Aaron's been one of the best blessings the Cathouse has had in a while. It's really took a load off Angela, and it's allowed Angela to be more in depth with their employees. I'll tell you though, there is a new bar up there. I know for a fact. I mean, they haven't announced a whole lot. I don't want to say too much, but some friends of mine that own Art's Place in Fayetteville, it looks like. I mean, I haven't heard it from them personally. I've been a little bit busy. But I think they're opening a place called Jonesy's up in Eureka Springs. It's right as you go outside of Eureka Springs towards Berryville, and they're kind of a biker bar, you know, local bar in Fayetteville, and they cater to everybody. They got great food, and they're going to be open, I think, in April. But I mean, they'll announce for it soon. But they're a great place, great family. Been running the place for 4
I followed Art's Place after you told me about it and stuff, and I saw a post about from Art's Place about a couple of people that worked for him that were like opening in a bar in Eureka Springs. Is that what you're talking about?
Well, I think it's Eric and Nikki, the same owner of Art's Place, that are opening the bar. When they're talking about the two from Art's Place that are leaving, that's her daughter, I'm pretty sure, and her son-in-law that are leaving there to go run that place. I think the way it is. I mean, on. But Eric and Nikki, they're great. They're local people. Eric rides a bike, used to be in the paving business. I mean, they're just great people. And the thing about them, just like Andy and Carrie, they're not going to, I don't think they're going to get involved in the politics at all, you know, because Eureka's different. I think they're going to be a great supporter of this community. I know they will be a great supporter of this community. But I want them to come out and say their own thing. I haven't seen them yet. I'm not bugging them. I know they're busy. As soon as it opens, I'll go up there and get a burger and get the rundown, and I will get back to you. I'm pretty sure they're going to be open for Spring Fling. As soon as I know if they will, I'll put a post out about it.
Right on. So Switchback's got the Hog Wild Run, and of course the parade starts at the Switchback on Friday night and ends at the Cathouse. I know Pig Trails shared out that they've got the stunt riders. They're going to be up there, I'm assuming, at the parking lot in Eureka Springs where the Eureka Springs Harley-Davidson dealer is on Friday and Saturday. And
all that will be on the Spring Fling Rally website.
All right. I'll make sure when I repost this as a podcast, I'll make sure I get a link to that in the show notes down there and stuff. But and then you've got the Miss Spring Fling contest. Is there anything not on the flyer that we need to give shout outs to? Anybody supporting the event? I know Rockin' Pig is on the flyer, and I know you said they'd stepped up and helped. Or they probably aren't doing any events, but everybody probably needs to know who they are. You want to kind of give people the lowdown on them, Jeff?
Okay, so Rockin' Pig is a great restaurant and entity. I mean, I'll be honest with you. Marshall is Kyle's brother. That's the Johnson family, and Marshall's been had Rockin' Pig now for probably 15 years. Now Marshall is a certified chef, man. I mean, he went to culinary school. He really loves food, you know what I mean? And he knows how. He takes barbecue and does some wonderful things with it. Marshall also raises his own Wagyu beef, and I'm not getting into that because I don't understand it, and I'm not going to even try to explain it. But it's supposed to be a better beef, you know, or more of a, you know, a little. He can explain it to you. But if you look at their menu, man, I mean, I go there for the wood-fired pizzas. He's got killer steaks there. It's just almost a white tablecloth menu, but it's a very friendly atmosphere, and they got a full bar there. And it's right there next to the Harley shop up on the hill, Rockin' Pig. They've been in business in Eureka for, I think it's over 15 years. And he also has a remote location down there at the Pig Trail Harley Davidson right next door to it. So on Friday and Saturdays and Sundays, I think they open that location down there. Great food, great restaurant. They don't really have events because they tie up their whole parking lot to food, beer, and drinks like that. But Pine right next door to them, that's where all the events are. You know, I mean, you got to look at it like this. Eureka, the whole town of Eureka, whatever events there, the whole town comes out no matter what. So when you get on your bike in the morning, you go eat at the breakfast place. And I'm going to tell you, this year the Cathouse is pulling off brunch and breakfast. You know what I mean?
Witchcraft Cycles made us aware. What was this about? Some kind of bottomless mimosa?
Bottomless mimosas, $5.99. You got brunch, cooked to order omelets, homemade waffles with strawberries, blue, whatever you want. Hash brown casserole, bacon, sausage, $9.99. Not an all-you-can-eat buffet. Come through and get whatever you want one time. If you need 2 plates, do it. You know what I mean? But one time, get what you want for $9.99, and then bottomless mimosas for $5.
You know, I was years ago. I was the kitchen manager of a bar and grill, and so I made the menu and everything. And I got to tell you, for those that haven't been to the Cathouse, your menu is not typical bar food. It's definitely a step above it. And I was always surprised when I first went there and started trying your food, how much energy goes into those dishes. And I'm sure it's probably Angela, but you guys do a great job of serving great food.
Thank you, Stephen. And I'll tell you, that's the thing. You know, our kitchen's one of the smallest kitchens in Eureka, so everything's prepped upstairs. And Angela tries to make it to where you're getting it fresh the next day at the worst case scenario. So that means everything has to be prepped upstairs before it comes down. And I'll tell you, Steve, I don't know when's the last time you've been there, but we just came out with our new menu, and we really didn't change it. We kept everything on there that we've always had, except for we took it a little bit farther. Me and Angela, never being in the restaurant business before the Cathouse, we had to learn some things. Well, one of the things you need to learn when you're in Eureka is you better have really good damn food. So what we did, bring back a prime rib on Friday and Saturday nights from 5 to 10 or until it lasts. It's a full 16-ounce cut, and if you think that ain't big enough, my cooks are cooking it right there. They'll be more than happy to cut you off plenty of what you want for your portion. And it's from 5 o'clock Friday and Saturday night until it lasts. We've got a bacon wrap meatloaf with mashed potatoes or a baked potato now, and that it's just like my mom made. It's a big old fat piece of meatloaf. I mean, the portions are even bigger now. We've got a couple artesian burgers on there. I've got a peanut butter and jelly burger. We got a donut burger, Mike. We're gonna see how many people.
Hold up. What are you looking at me calling out donuts for?
You know what
I've lost 10 pounds since February, bro. Can't you tell?
Landed at a few donut places. Anyways, we've got a donut burger. You know, we've got a couple other appetizers. We got tamales there. I mean, we didn't really change our menu or anything like that. We got a bit better bun and stuff like that. We did some different stuff with our meat, but we got it to where we're really concentrating on putting out our food product this year. So I appreciate that plug, Steve.
Well, Witchcraft Cycle Works for sharing your menu and your mimosas and your breakfast stuff. That's how we knew about it.
Yeah,
we follow them. And if anybody's not following Witchcraft Cycle Works, I put them up on the screen here. Check out their Facebook page. That's Ray and Bill. They recently started a YouTube channel, so I'd say go check that out too. They don't have a lot of content yet, but I know they were in Arkansas last weekend, so I expect some waterfall content to be coming. So really good people, you know, real down home to earth kind of content, you know, just them and being who they are and telling it like it is. And, you know, they've probably been around me sticking a camera up in their face for the last 3 years enough that they're pretty comfortable with it. Cause you know, they've been on the channel a few times before they started their channel and stuff, but they are really good friends of ours, great people. And they love to ride. Like Jeff said, they're those kind of people that, you know, when he thinks about Spring Fling or he thinks about his clientele, those are the kinds of people he thinks about because they're just the right kind of people. They fit this community. They support this community. They promote this community and stuff. And, you know, they're great people.
Yeah, they're real and they know who they are and they don't have an ill intention for nobody. And he ain't no punk because if you cross on his toes, he's going to deal with you. That's what makes them real. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And he says your Merlot steak strips are, oh my God. Either him or Ray Ray. I don't know which one that is. Oh my God sounds a little bit like Ray Ray though.
Yeah.
But yeah, they're good people. I'm going to warn you. We haven't announced this, but I've reached out to them. We are going to have a live stream with some lady writers, featured, including Firecracker. We're going to put Firecracker on the spot in the hot seat as a guest instead of as a host, along with Riding with a Mermaid and Ray from Witchcraft Cycle Works. And we're going to try and promote that and get lady writers to get into the, audience and stuff and just talk about things, ask them questions as a lady writer and get their perspective. I saw something really interesting on Cycle Source's podcast a while back here that lady riders have grown from 5% to 19% of our motorcycle community in the last few years. And I think that's awesome. I don't talk about a lot on the channel, but me and Firecracker are part of a motorcycle rights organization here in Missouri, the largest one. And we promote riding and safety and brotherhood and all that stuff. And I kind of keep a little bit of that separate from the channel because they have social media policies. And I don't want people to mistakenly think I'm a spokesperson or I'm speaking for them, because I'm not. I'm just a member. But it's great to see, and we've been seeing this in our organization, a larger percent of women joining, and sometimes they join as a girlfriend, but maybe they split up and they stay, and the boyfriend leaves the organization or whatever else, but they stay involved in the organization because they're getting more and more involved in the lifestyle. And we try as a motorcycle rights organization, we're very inclusive. We don't have, it doesn't matter what you ride. This isn't an MC. You don't have to be an American bike. I don't care if it's a Honda, a Harley. I don't care. You don't have to ride to even be a member. You just have to support motorcyclists' rights. That's what our foundation's about and stuff. But it's cool to see the women becoming a bigger part of our community. I think that's great. And I got to come up with a whole list of questions. If you feel like joining us and asking them questions that night, you let me know. We'll put you in here as Firecracker's substitute as a host, and you can help grill her.
I don't know. I mean, I like Firecracker and stuff like that, because sometimes what comes out of my mouth, I wouldn't want to have Firecracker to deal with the national news or nothing. I like talking to her on the side, man. And when I want to talk to everybody, because I know she's got a hawkish eye, I'll pull up and just ask her something in her ear, and she'll whisper it back to me, and I usually go about my business with her.
Jeff, you are a lot of fun. Just so you know, Jeff, you are a lot of fun to have on the show, regardless of what kind of background you got. So
yeah,
we love having you on the show. We appreciate you coming on and talking to us about all this stuff and everything. So if you ever just want to get on a live stream and hang out with us, you're always welcome.
Well, yeah, same thing, man. Hey, we really appreciate you guys, man. Firecracker, Steve, you, Mike. I mean, we just couldn't do these things without you. This is how we organically grow this thing. You know what I mean? We know the people we're getting. Your fan base that's touching you with chats right now. Steve knows who he's to do. Firecracker's got a great following and a great movement within the women's community and stuff like that. You know what I mean? And you know what I mean? When she, it's like she says, I'm not putting words in her mouth. When she gets up there and feels relaxed and around, she's one of the funnest people to be with. I mean, I watch her up there, man, and I've hung out with her. You know what I mean? Sometimes on here, I know it can seem like she feels like on the spot a little bit up there, but when she's herself and wants you to know her, she's very good with her words, and I like talking to her, man. She's very intelligent. She don't have problems in her mind. You know what I mean? So,
she's a little camera shy, and she's like, when I was planning this stream, she's like, well, what do I need to be on there for? You and Steve can just talk to Jeff. And I'm like, you need to be on here. For one, you're our balance. Nobody wants to look at three guys all the time.
We need the eye candy. Her background there, I can't see everything, you know what I mean? But
I get a little credit on the background. I brought her backlighting up tonight and set it up for her.
That is badass. You know what I mean? That pops. I mean, you look at me, big old ass heads, and then you on there with your purple and your beard, and then her, she's all pretty and shit. You know what I mean? It works.
Well, Steve's lighting's gotten better as it got darker.
I know what I mean? You guys are putting me out there in the White House and shit. That's cool. I can deal with it.
But hey, that's just because you're the POTUS, baby.
I got
Mike made me do it. He was going to fire me if I didn't do some stuff to set up my my studio better.
to bring it up. I got you, man.
Yeah, so we'll put Bagger up here in the spotlight now and stuff. But yeah, the keys to have a little front light to light your face and a little darkness behind you and a little fluorescent lighting of some kind or colored lighting back there to shine off the white wall so it doesn't look like a white wall. And it's cheap. That thing behind Firecracker, that's a $25 floodlight that does RGB coloring. Plug it into an outlet and go. But it really sets things off. And just put a little white light in front of her to light up her face, show what a beauty she is. She'll put right up front. She loves it when I make her center the video. But we're having a little fun here now. So, but yeah, we're gonna do a ladies' night kind of thing and get lady riders on here one night and talk about the things they deal with, how they've come to be a part of the community, all that kind of stuff. I think that would be good, and I think that would serve that 20% of our community that I mean, there are a lot of women content creators and stuff like that, but probably not near as many as there are men. And I just want to make sure they get their opportunity to share their stories and their experiences and stuff as well.
Well, I promise you at Spring Fling Rally, there'll be 60% of the women and 40% men. How about that? Because that's what those numbers are. We get more women up there than we do men. I don't know how it works out like that, but we do. So that's a big.
You keep throwing those numbers out, and it's going to change.
Well, keep that a fine secret.
Hey, I do have to say, at Spring Fling, I've got to get Steve and Mike and a bunch of them because we're going to park my bike and they're all going to circle around my bike so it doesn't get damaged while we're there.
We're going to have to. I think what she's hinting at, Jeff, is she wants one of those parking spots next to you at the front door where you can keep an eye on her bike.
I want it safe where somebody doesn't run into it.
Be able to keep an eye on her bike right from where I'm at.
Have you seen her new paint job?
No, I've seen it, man. I think it looks cool, man. I mean, I've always dug purple and stuff like that. I've never done a purple bike, man, but I mean, she pulled it off cool. It really ain't that chicky purple. You know what I mean? I know she's a girl. I get that, but I mean, it's a pretty color. I mean, I really like that. I'd ride that bike.
Yeah, it's a beautiful color. A friend of ours, he painted the base paint, and then the same guys that airbrushed my Batwing on my Street Glide did the hand lettering on the tank and on the fairing for her and stuff. And I mean, they pulled it together nice. He's going to do a little more pinstriping on it now that the bike's all assembled. We just got to get time with him. That'll probably happen in May, if not before, because he'll be down at the rally that we do in May. And so she'll get a little more pinstriping on stuff, but it's come together really nice. She's really happy with those bars we put on there. She did about 150 miles last weekend. And other than the wind pushing her a little bit, she did really well as far as like not cramping up with the bars and the ergonomics not being right.
Yeah, that wind's it's real bad here tonight. So it's an issue, man. I mean, that's just be careful out there, girlfriend. We got you.
But, paint's an interesting thing when it comes to bikes. Some people are cool with the factory colors and they do all this other stuff to them and stuff. But I think my experience is paint is what seems to be the thing that catches the everyday rider or the non-rider's eye. They see a flashy paint job and that's what draws them. My bike with the Batwing on and airbrushing draws a lot of people to it. And they don't know that I got all chrome controls and I got a stage one and I got aftermarket exhaust and I got a loud stereo. What they see and what they remember is that paint job. And, it's whether it's flashy or subtle or whatever and stuff, it can, paint can make a big difference in how the community perceives you, perceives your ride and stuff. And it's really, the more we get into customizing bikes and like her painting this bike and stuff, the more we see that from people that see the bike or see it online,
It's reflective of her personality. You know what I mean? It's subtle purple.
That's the thing about one thing about the Harley community, especially the Harley community, is customizing their bikes to fit them, to show their personality, their style, I mean, there's a lot of black street glides, but there's still a lot of black street glides that got a little one-off touch here and there, custom derby colors that are engraved or whatever else and stuff. And that's a cool thing about this community and stuff. And the way we embrace each other and we go up and check each other's bikes out and oh, that's cool, I like the way you did that and stuff like that and stuff. And that kind of stuff. I mean, I know it happens at Spring Fling in the parking lot because that parking lot's full of cool ass bikes.
Yep, it is.
Jeff, is there any talk about doing anything more downtown as far as parking goes?
I don't, you guys know, but I rent that parking lot so that I can have more control parking close to us. I mean, there's talk of a parking lot going up, and if I was just thinking of myself, I'd think, yeah, because I know twice a year I could fill it up. You know what I mean? But for the overall look of Eureka, I'm going to have to side with some of the locals there and just think it's probably not the best look for Eureka. I mean, I just, I compare that kind of to, the Florida Keys. You don't see a bunch of parking lots down on the Keys on their main 2 blocks or 3 blocks. I mean, parking's an issue in Eureka. It always has been. I'll tell you, the one thing too, though, that trolley system is Johnny on the spot. So like and if you parked up at Mito's at the Mexican restaurant, who's a very cool guy, or at Legends, or someplace else, or a restaurant, or a main parking lot, and you wanted to go downtown, you can just jump on the trolley and your bike's perfectly good where it's at. You know what I mean? So you don't have to even worry about that. Or if you've drank too many adult beverages and you want to, take your bike, or if you want to go take your bike to the hotel and go consume as many adult beverages as you want, you can literally jump on the trolley right in front of my place or in front of the bank and take it right to your hotel, restaurant, Airbnb, or whatever. So, I mean, there's some ways around that. But, yeah, parking's an issue. It always will be in Eureka. That's the way it is.
You can't hardly fix it without taking away from the atmosphere of the city.
Yeah.
The downtown area. I had someone comment on my video last week. They were watching the video from Spring Fling last year, and they said something about local law enforcement and how they treat the bikers and what I thought and this and that. And I said, I'd actually got to talk to them during BBB and kind of share the message. And they're not out there looking to be hard on bikers, but the fact is that downtown area is full of old buildings with old glass. They're not, they're trying to keep that historic environment there and stuff. And all they're asking is not to go down there and, blow your pipes off the glass and make the building shake. Have a good time. If you want to go rack your pipes, there's a McDonald's up the road. They got new glass.
You can go to the Switchback and do a burnout in their bar. You know what I mean?
Yeah, they're good with that. There's a place and a time for it. Just
for everything.
Try and be easy on the historic district and not, don't make the business owners call them and they won't come looking for you. It's really what it boils down to.
Well, and Bozeman came by my place for breakfast the other day. He's just one of them, but he's ready to do his next video. They're getting all the clearances and signing all their paperwork, the police department. So hopefully we'll do some interviews and catch him on some videos and get some videos of them and kind of what they are. But I'm just going to let y'all know. Every town that I've ever been to, I just came back from Daytona. I go to rallies all over the country. You have the good and bad within every police department. That's just the way life is. But I'll tell you, for the most part, and I mean 95%, I'm not telling you, there's this one kid that probably needs to learn some manners, you know what I mean? And he will. But other than that, you have 95% of that police department. They either ride a motorcycle, you know what I mean, or they're just good guys, you know what I mean? So that they're not out there looking for you. They're not out there to make your life difficult. They're not out there. I hear this all the time on my porch. Oh, they're just trying to run their total because they want to add the money up. No, I'm telling you what, man, because of me and some other people that are down their throats, you know what I mean, for how many tickets they ride on some other days. They're not trying to do that. Eureka Springs is one of the most well-funded police department there is in the country. People got to remember, we have 2,000 people that live there, and the police department has $1 million or $2 million a year budget. They don't need any more money, trust me. And they're not out there trying to run up the tax base. That little town has more money than it does have sense. That's part of the problem sometimes. So it's nothing like that. It's a matter of, if you've got an asshole that thinks that he can come from wherever his little town he's from, and he watched the Sons of Anarchy once in 1983, and he's going to come there and disrespect everybody, show that his representative is louder than another. Well, that, in a small town like Eureka or downtown Daytona or Port Charlotte or Laconia or any of those places, that's just not what you do if you don't want a ticket. That's just it. You know what I mean? And the sad thing about that, what I see happen in my place, is you get the guy that hits the rev limiter that's an asshole and leaves, and then you get the guy leaving with his wife that had that one extra too many beer, and I mean really just one extra, but can make it home safely and would not have a horrible night. But that cop gets him because that guy was an asshole. That's what pisses me off a little bit sometimes, because, you know, if I go to Daytona and I want to go run my bike like crazy, or, you know, I'm going to do things or iffy, I just go to the ghetto. I know how to get around. You know what I mean? If I'm at Sturgis, I go take off to Spearfish. I'll run the bike on the freeway. I won't be drinking. And if I'm drinking, I'll probably do some other thing and take an Uber home. You know what I mean? People make their own decisions. And when I get that stuff on my porch and I hear stuff, oh, that's a police department, negative comments, I think we have one of the better police forces around when it comes to this kind of stuff. Eureka Springs does some kind of rally or event every weekend, so it's not like this isn't the normal for them. So it's, you know, I think we're blessed in that aspect. I think we have a very cooperative police department, and if you ever have a problem that you think's valid, come by the Cathouse, let me know. I'll be more than happy to go talk to the chief of police, who's a pretty good guy, and we'll see what we can do.
But, you know, Firecracker and Bozeman are, you know, like best friends since he put her in handcuffs.
He asked me, do I get to handcuff the girl again this year? I don't know, man.
I think she kind of liked it.
So I got a question for you. We noticed at Bikes, Blues, and Barbecue last year, I think probably because they moved it to Rogers, we saw a lot more police presence. And I remember driving in and out of Eureka, there would be a law enforcement vehicle at both ends of the highway. Any word about how much police presence we're going to see this year during Eureka or Spring Fling?
You know, because I'm going to lay all my cards on the table right there and stuff like that. So last B&B, Bikes B&B, you know what I mean? That you get certain things that happen across the country sometimes, and then you get overzealous either federal or state officers that send notices to different police departments before a rally starts and says, hey, I really don't know nothing, but I think, you know what I mean? Yeah. And I think that the Rogers Police, I'm not going to put it on them, but from what I understand, it was the Rogers Police Department had put out a memo about certain things that could or could not happen within the motorcycle world. And they were just overzealous a little bit with the amount of people that they had present. Now in Eureka, it died off pretty quickly. You know what I mean? By Saturday afternoon, they had backed it off. You know what I mean? Not backed it off, but I mean, they just went to doing traffic because it was so busy. So that actually, I think we can handle it a little bit. But I mean, you get these things. I mean, unfortunately, we had an incident happening here in Oklahoma City, and I don't talk about negatives, just a couple of days ago. You know what I mean? Those things that happen around the country that are within a very small group, sometimes politicians, insurance people, especially when it's rallies, everybody gets nervous for a minute. Mike, you had it happen at Lake of the Ozarks. You know what I mean? That those things kind of happen. Well, Bikes, Blues, and Barbecues is a great one to use for an example, because you know what I mean, you can't judge or predict what any one man's going to do or anything like that, but you know, I think we're pretty resilient here in the Midwest. You know what I mean? We, you know, most of these rallies and stuff like that, you don't have those kind of problems and stuff like that, but you know, all it takes is one bad apple. You know what I mean? And you know, with your kids going to school and getting shot up, and, you know, walking in a bar and two guys, you know, that should be taking it hand to hand, you know what I mean, like that, start busting out 9mm, and they think they can spread that fear. I mean, there might be some politics there. I mean, those things happen. I'll tell you one thing they're never going to do at the Cathouse, as far as it is with us, we're never going to be on those sides of politics or anything like that. We're going to keep on making it a party. I think everybody kind of knows it comes around my joint. We invite everybody there. We don't tell people who or what they can't wear, nothing like that. It's not my problem. I've always had everybody treat us with the ultimate respect, and I've never known that other side of that life. So I'm going to continue to operate our business that way.
Well, you know, and you mentioned the Lake of the Ozarks thing, and what you can and can't wear, and this is the motorcycle ride side of me coming out, but it's also the motorcycle rider part of me coming out. You know, what happened at the Lake of the Ozarks affected Bike Fest because people put up signs saying no patches, no colors, and all this, and I said it doesn't serve any point because the people are still going to come, but now they're going to wear soft colors, and people who aren't conscientious of what soft colors are or who's wearing what soft colors, or, you know, why this guy's wearing a Raiders t-shirt or whatever else, become unaware, and they don't realize the environment they're in. And all you're doing is putting camouflage on top of a problem instead of, you know, letting everybody be aware of it, and they can choose to be there or not be there. And all those signs at Lake of the Ozarks are pretty well gone, you know, a year and a half later. I think there's one place, and we haven't gone by and checked it, but they don't even understand what no patches, no colors means, because they turn people away for having a vest with event patches on it, not club affiliation. They just, like, it didn't matter if you were CMA, Christian Motorcycle Association, or they were just event patches. They were like, you can't wear that in here. You have to sit outside. So, you know, till that sign's gone, I'm gone. I won't go back to that environment. But that's, you know, like you say, as long as people will be respectful to each other, don't try and, you know, bring you into the middle of it and stuff like that. You know, and like you asked Firecracker about being safe there, you know, I've seen it. I've never felt unsafe or felt like there was a problem at Spring Fling, especially, or Bikes, Blues, and Barbecue. There's been a time or two when we had the drama going on at the lake, we were maybe a little more conscientious of what was going on around us.
Yeah, but that wasn't during rally. And I think I can't speak for MC presidents, but I would, if I was one, I'd be like, hey, listen, you know, best behavior during a rally. It would just make sense to me because I don't want people into my business.
Right. We've got friends who wear 1% patch, and, you know, the ones that are doing it right are very adamant about, you know, when you're wearing that patch, you're representing all of us, and you need to represent all of us in the right way, you know, and stuff. And not to be getting into the club thing, but, you know, law enforcement a lot of times doesn't understand things. They overreact to things. They, you know, like putting up those signs saying no colors and no patches, that didn't stop anything from happening. All that did was, you know, like throw some paint on the problem.
Well, I mean, as far as us in the Cathouse, same with politics, man. So, and I think Steve mentioned it about me before. I know where my lane's at, man. I'm not involved in. I don't wear a pin on my vest. I don't have nothing. I wear a leather because it does. I ride motorcycles because I like motorcycles. I sleep with Angela because I'm a heterosexual white male and I like women. I have 6 grandchildren because I want them all to. I like my grandchildren. You know what I mean? That's about all I'm down for. You know, I respect and give you know, all the respect to everybody. Anybody can come in our joint, have as much fun as you want, and it all has to do with the same thing. What somebody chooses to wear on their back, sleep with, vote for, I don't really give a fuck. If it becomes a problem, then you've entered my domain. Then, if you want to bully your tactics on whatever, or put another person's agenda down, just, you know, I've had guys, you know, that say they're with this team and another guys are with this, and I don't know if they're on. They're going to jaw at each other in front of my place. I don't go for that either. But I don't have a dog in that fight. It's not my business. You know what I mean? I'm not one of. I ride motorcycles. I sleep with women. I'll drink some beer sometimes or whatever, but I'm just not a club guy. You know what I mean? It's my politics and whatever. It's not, but it's not going to be pushed down my throat. It's not. You know what I mean? I'm pretty. If you guys know me, I don't have to preach my lifestyle, but I know a lot of people, you know what I mean, all across this whole wide world, man. And I think I have their relationships because I'm friends with individuals. Like I tell them, I know somebody in every walk of life. The other thing is too, and which was good, and I think that we've helped in that. I think we honestly have, is the police department, because there's certain things that have happened in Eureka before. They feel better talking to us and working with us, as far as, you know, letting them come through and do their little drive-by things and having open communication with them. They feel better because they know that we're at least up there looking out for our customers. You know what I mean? And we're not policing shit. We're not doing anything else, but they like that open contact. So, you know what I mean? You guys know, you got Bozeman up there, you know, putting your old lady in handcuffs. You know what I mean? You got guys. I think all the times you guys have been there, man, there's been a motorcycle club two or there. I mean, I think I've had two of the, if you watch TV, two of the most rival clubs in you know, if you watch TV, you know, but I've had them both at my bar at the same time on different ends. Don't get me wrong, you know what I mean? But they do their own thing. I don't get in their business, man, and they come up there and do their own, you know, their own thing, man. It's not my lane. It's not my lifestyle. It's none of that stuff. You know what I mean? We want that event to be open for everybody. And I'll tell you, you never know. It's the ones that sit on my porch and they watch some documentary and they want to come up there and croak politics. And they're usually sitting there, like you said, Mike, they don't always wear their patch. You know what I mean? And I got this old, I'm not going to mention who he is or what club he's with or whatever, but he's an old schooler, but he comes up there all the time just to sit on my bar and drink beer sometimes. And he just laughs his ass off. He can make some people's lives horrible up there sometimes. Trust me. They run their mouth, you know what I mean, about shit they know nothing about, you know what I mean? But he doesn't, you know what I mean? He laughs the shit off and goes home. But you know, that's something else, man. We don't get involved in that. It's like politics. We don't do it.
We're going to change the subject in just a second here, but Ray's Moto Life is, I think, talking about Firecracker here on here, because she's such a sweetheart, but she's being quiet tonight, but she is great to be around. So don't think she's unsociable. She's just not talking. She's one cool cat. You know, we're not going to tell the story tonight, but I will say that she did get her road name Firecracker in relation to an event that involved us being around a 1% MC club. and she got excited and was like, easy Firecracker. So and it stuck. She earned it. You know, that's how road names go.
Yeah.
So but yeah, she's a little quiet tonight, but she's got, don't worry, she'll, if you meet her in person at the Cathouse, she's had a couple of Crown Apple and Sprites, because that's her new favorite drink, Jeff, just so you know. You know, she'll be plenty livened up. I was going to ask Jeff, because a few years ago it was Patron, and then last year it was cherry vodka. What are we drinking this year at the Cathouse, Jeff?
What was it? Firecracker was drinking.
She's been drinking Crown Apple and Sprite lately. I
think it was Crown Peach. I think was what I was drinking in Daytona for the one that, you know, I don't drink that much, man. I just don't, you know, sometimes I try to always get in a night or at least the end of a night or two during Spring Fling where I get to kind of drop things down and enjoy myself and spend time with some people and talk to them. You know what I mean? But I think it's probably going to be Crown Peach this year.
Crown Peach. Okay.
Yeah, but we are doing the shots with Adam Friday night. We're going to try to break that 72 shot mark and try to get it 200 or 300.
Are we doing tequila again?
Yeah, tequila.
Oh, I'm going to make sure I say that. Last time I got caught in there, and they were like, we couldn't go forward until somebody else agreed to take a shot because we hadn't hit that limit. I think I had to be the guy that had to take one for the team and do a shot of tequila just so we could get moving on the rest of the night, because he wasn't going to let us go on until somebody else took a shot, you know, because we had to have that number. And I'm not a tequila guy, but
hopefully we could spread that out. We'll try to get everybody to throw $1 in the bucket and we'll give it to grandma's charity, you know what I mean, or something. You know what I mean?
Right. Witchcraft Cycle Works says Firecracker knows how to cut loose and have fun. They would know. They've been around her enough in an off-camera environment.
Yeah.
And I like this one. She talks almost as much as me.
I don't know about that one.
Doc Harley says that's impossible, but now Ray, you're stretching it. They say Ray's Moto Life, Jeff. If you haven't seen Ray yet, Ray's in the chat tonight. We met him at that Cycle Showcase show. He's got a small channel, but he's out of him and Dallas are out of, I think, Tennessee, Kentucky, one of the two, but I think they're Tennessee. Yeah. And Ray likes to go on live a lot. I mean, it might just be him and 5 other people, but he just likes to get online and talk to his other content creators, his friends. For him, it's kind of like calling you up and talking on the phone, except he does it on YouTube or Instagram and shares it with everybody who cares to watch or be a part of it or not and stuff. But Ray's a lot of fun, and we had, a great time meeting him at that show. And that's kind of like we said before about Spring Fling. That's what's great about these events is meeting people. People talk about going to Sturgis and they camp next to the same people year after year because they became friends with them, and then they go see them. That might be the only time all year they see them, but that's when they go. Now this year we're going to see you at Spring Fling. Then we're going to be back in 2 weeks for the International Female Ride Day. And I'm trying to figure out June 10th how we're going to do that because, we've got a little conflict there. Our buddy Adam is actually going to be in St. Louis June 10th. So he's going to be coming across Kansas City like June, I think up in your area, Steve, like June 7th or something. He's going to hit Mid-America Harley Davidson June 8th. Somewhere else June 9th, and then June 10th, that Saturday, he's going to be at Doc's. So I'm thinking I'm going to have to take an afternoon off work and meet him at Mid-America Harley Davidson so I can make my donation to the Great American Convoy. And then, so on Friday night, we can roll out for the Rumble Rally that Charlie Fagan's putting on in Eureka Springs and stuff, which I thought was really cool. Last year, we didn't get to check that out because it actually fell on the weekend before our rally, the Mid-America Freedom Rally that you sponsored last year, to help. Yeah. And so that was our work weekend where we get everything ready for the rally. So there was no way we could make it last year. Then I heard he was going to move it this year, and I was kind of excited because I thought, hey, maybe we'll get a chance to go. And then the announcement came out that he moved it, and he moved the location to Eureka Springs, which we that makes it all the better for us because we love coming down there. That means it's another opportunity to hang out with you. So I'm thinking I'm going to be sick. I'm going to call in sick on June 8th so I can go see Adam at Mid-America Harley Davidson and contribute to the Great American Convoy. So any of my friends who are tuned in or anybody else, June 8th, I'm thinking I'm going to have a mental health day, something, take some sick time and go be a part of the Great American Convoy. And then, maybe June 9th, we may try and get the Ozark Rumble Rally down there in Eureka Springs on the schedule so we can roll down there on Friday night and come see you again. Because last year we only got to see you like twice. So we're going to make that happen more often this year.
Are you guys going to
Sturgis this year? Yes, sir, we are.
Yep, sure am.
Are you going to be there?
Keep going, right?
I'll be there the first weekend.
That's the first weekend. And I usually go like that Thursday, Friday, the first weekend. And then I stay like Monday, Tuesday, or Wednesday, depending on when I'm just too tired and want to go. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's the time when when Angela has off, that's when the time I want to out. So if you guys are going to be there, we'll hook up, you know what I mean, somewhere, you know what I mean, and do the thing because, we all have a lot in common. Steve, I like hanging out with you. You tend to do the sober thing a little bit more and you always find the good food places. You know what I mean?
So hold up here. Mike is washing bikes for International Female Bike Week. I don't know what that is. I know International Female Ride Day. And if I'm washing bikes, there better be some really good tips. That's all I got to say because I pay somebody to wash my bike. I don't even like washing my own bike.
Did you say tits or tips?
That's the same thing.
I heard tits. I mean, I'm just saying.
I think so. I think that's what he said.
Tips, tits, it's all the same. It's all plus.
Hey, Jeff.
I'll show you my tits if you're going to wash my bike.
You will, huh? At the Switchback?
Yeah,
Jeff,
you're
did
gonna
you
wash
go to
it?
Lake of the Ozarks? You went to Lake
Okay,
of the
Gary,
Ozarks bike
I'm gonna
rally,
wash
right?
her bike at the Switchback, and she's gonna get her titties out. So somebody get ready for that. We'll have to get the logistics worked out on that. Jeff's trying to figure out what day that is. I can see the clock working.
It's September 16th, I think, or something like that.
Yeah, May 6th will be International Female Ride Day. I've actually got that was on my agenda to talk about when we got done with Spring Fling. So, whoops, I think I double clicked it here. Oh, stay, don't go away. I got a little bit of a delay. So, May 6th, International Female Ride Day, Eureka Springs, Arkansas. Switchback Bars putting on this event. Firecracker, you tell them the rest.
You kind of I was reading comments, so I didn't really
Tell them what May 6th is all about.
May 6th is International Female Ride Day. So Switchback Bar asked me about coming to be, I guess, a special guest. I don't know what you want to say. And asked me if I knew anybody. So we've got Ray from Witchcraft Cycles and Riding with a Mermaid, which is Bert the Biker Dogs. That's his mom. So we're all going to be there for females to come meet, or men. It's not just for women, but we're going to lead a ride that leaves the Switchback and comes back to the Switchback. I'm sure we'll have like stickers and things like that, but it's just going to be a day to celebrate women who ride. And it doesn't have to be a woman that rides her own bike. You can be a woman that rides on the back of your boyfriend or your husband's bike. You're still considered a rider. So we just encourage everybody to come out and have a good time.
Yeah, Carrie says, I heard that too. He is washing. I don't know how I get into this stuff, but the things I do for love and tits. So,
Listen, hey, I'm pretty sure that. Well, I know that we're doing some with them too. Carrie's told me and stuff like that. But I'm telling you, we're all very aware of it. Me and Kyle were talking about it too. I mean, Kyle bring it up to me just the other day too. That same statistic you did, not only statistics, and I'll tell you, man, I did. I mean, Angela mostly, but I did raise 2 daughters too. You know what I mean? And I've learned to talk to women in the last 23 years since being with Angela, and they do exist. You know what I mean? I guess they got rights and all that stuff now. They can vote, all kinds of shit. You know what I mean? And the thing is cool about these rider events, and you get around Firecracker and Carrie and all these people like that. For an old guy that had the most old school, stereotypical male chauvinist pig type attitude or whatever, and I'm just being honest, that's one of the most refreshing things about these kind of rallies, or for me, man, is to listen to some of these ladies' stories and the things they do in their trials and tribulations. Also, man, they're all into tattoos now and stuff and sexy. So, I mean, I'm telling you, it's eye candy everywhere. And my wife isn't a very jealous wife. She's very secure and stuff like that. And God, I'm glad she's like that. But I'm telling you, there's some very interesting stories with these ladies. We just had the Women of the Wind at our place, 150 of them just a couple weeks ago. And, man, some of the most, I think I met a couple friends there. And they were some of the best stories. And I'm telling you, for a guy like me coming from the places I come from, you know what I mean? I just never had done that in my life. So in the last 10 years, being 8 to 10 years at the Cathouse, I've had to listen to more and learn that, especially from my bartenders and stuff. And I'll just tell you, man, this is going to be one of my better events. I think these type of woman run events are becoming more and more the norm, and I'm going to do everything I can to do to be part of it, because it's fun. They're good people, you know what I mean? And it isn't that push your chest out type of stuff. You guys can do that if you want. You can do a lot of chest bumping up there, Firecracker. I think that might be a new women's code for like biker together, chest bumping. I don't want to create a trend or anything, but
no, I like that trend.
Firecracker, put your arm up in front of the camera. Somebody got ink therapy with her daughter this week. So I don't know how well you can see it, But it's a mother-daughter tattoo with a flower on it there. It's upside down, but that's okay because of the way the camera is.
Yeah.
But she got her mother-daughter tattoo with her daughter. Her daughter got a matching one and stuff. And, so that was cool. But she got her some ink therapy last Friday.
No, I think it's great, man. And part of this whole culture and stuff like that. And man, if you guys are old school and stuff like that, back in the 80s and not late 70s, I'm not that old, but there just weren't a lot of women around the culture. It just wasn't. You know what I mean? Now I think with women riders and husbands and wives and girls that just ride and everything, there's probably more women out here doing it all together than anything. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
I think they got their own events and rallies, and I want to do everything I can to support it, and anything I can learn from it, I think I'll be more the better.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I think of myself as old school, but I've been riding for a long time. I started on dirt bikes, in the early 80s. I mean, I was born in 71. So yeah, I'm 52 years young almost this summer. And but I started riding dirt bikes when I was 10 or 12 years old, Honda Elsinore. So early 80s, I started riding dirt bikes. And, my mom and dad supported that. They got me on a YZ motocross bike by the time I was 15 years old because I kept tearing everything else apart. You ever tried to jump a 350 CB over a freaking, lift in a cow field? No, they didn't last. I just ripping shit all apart. But anyway, my dad rode. He rode when he met my mom. He had a bad accident. He's got a steel plate actually in his wrist to this day from it and stuff. But they never kept me from motorcycles. They embraced that, when I had that desire and helped me, grow that. And my mom is, in her early 70s, and she rides her own bike. 10 years ago, she was still riding. At 60 now, she had a really bad car accident. She's got a hip problem and stuff. So my dad found her this Honda Silver Wing thing that looks like an overgrown scooter, but she could climb in it because she didn't have to throw her leg over it. And that thing had run 90 mile an hour. I took it to the parts store one day to get parts for the Harley, and it's kind of like, the moped thing. You don't want to see your friends riding it, but it's still fun. So, but my mom rode, my dad rides. He's got a V-Rod trike now. He's got back and knee problems and stuff. But, I came from a family that rides. My dad's brother rode Honda Gold Wings. He rode a Honda, XL 250 when I was young. My whole family, I've been around motorcycles since I was young and stuff. And I've had that family that supported that. I've never had a family that tried to talk me out of riding or tell me how dangerous motorcycles were. Instead, they were like, if you love it, great. That's awesome. Yeah, I'm glad you found something you love. And I know, I've heard other content creators talk about not having that aspect in their life or starting later in life and things like that. Firecracker obviously started later than me. But when we got together, she expressed a desire to learn to ride her own. And as a motorcycle rights organization person, I believe full force that, we need more riders, whether they're men, women, whatever. We need more riders in our industry. We need to grow this culture because if we don't, they will stomp us out. They will continue to take things away from us like the EPA is doing with the tuners and all those things and stuff. So we need to, embrace everybody that we can get into this culture, men or women, and, bring young people in, get them going, get them started on two wheels, whether it's an electric bike, like the Strider bikes and stuff like that, whatever we got to do. But, it's really cool.
First time I went to Arkansas on a motorcycle was 2013. And it was me and another guy, and we were going to meet a couple of people he knew. Well, one of them happened to be a female. And she shows up, and of course, stereotypical me, she's beautiful, blonde, looks like Barbie doll, unbelievable assets. And she's got a T-shirt on that says, "It's not going to eat itself." And I'm like, oh, my God. So I said, "Are you going to be on the back of a bike?" She goes, "No, man, that's my bike right over there." And I'm like, oh, shit. We're going to have to go 10 miles an hour through all these beautiful roads in Arkansas, right? We get going out of Eureka, and we're hitting the curves, and she is right on my ass. And I'm like, my God, this girl she's riding. So I pushed it a little harder. I keep pushing a little. Finally, I mean, I'm riding as hard as I can without crashing. We finally pull over, and I go back to talk to her, and she's just got a grin on her face. And I said, what's your story? She goes, I used to race motorcycles in California. She goes, I used to race on road courses. I'm like, okay, makes sense.
So how'd you let her get away? Couldn't keep up? What's up, Bagger?
Yeah. Why? And I'm only telling you a little bit about
right into your fiddle.
When I see you guys in person, I'll tell you the rest of the story.
Oh, so the rest of the story is not YouTube worthy, huh? Not YouTube safe.
It gets pretty crazy. Let's just say that.
Right on. Well, like kind of to recap, and Jeff, you want to hang out with us for a minute? I was going to talk about a couple of things.
It's Mike. I've got. Unless it's something you need me for, I'll be more than happy to.
No, you have been great for an hour and 45 minutes. We love you. We love the Cathouse. We love Spring Fling, and we will be seeing you soon. We me and you probably need to connect sometime this week, and I'll get Road Rush's information.
Yeah.
And I need to get kind of recap the list. I reached out to Biker Dad earlier and stuff, and trying to get a confirmation on that. And we'll get together and talk about, rooms and what we need and all that, and get that ironed out. Like I said, I didn't want to throw too many names out. Biker Dad is not confirmed, but he is a possibility. And so that'd be cool to have him there. Saddle Tramp is planned on coming, him and his old lady, his missus. Saddle Tramp is a real cool, old school dude. I mean, he lived in Fayetteville for a little while. He called me the other day when I talked to him about the Content Creator House. We had a nice chat. Good guy. You're really going to like Saddle Tramp and stuff. So anyway, Jeff, thank you so much for being on here. You always make the stream that much more fun. Get the girls smiling and laughing.
Tell you,
Angela, we miss her and we love her, and give your mom a hug, and keep you all in our prayers, and whatever you need, holler.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Hey, Steve, you take it easy. Firecracker, thank you very much for being there and glamoring us up and making us all be responsible a little bit more. Hey, you guys we really appreciate all you guys' support. Steve, man, you do a lot for us all over the Pied Piper of the biker world, brother. And I got you. You know what I mean? Mike, thank you very much. Firecracker, again, thank you very much. We'll holler to you guys later.
Yeah.
All right.
Good seeing you, brother.
Take care.
Talk to you later. Bye-bye.
Yep.
Mike.
Yeah.
Real quick question. Are you planning a meet and greet at Spring Fling? And do you know when it is? Witchcraft Cycles was asking, but I thought you might want to let other YouTubers know they wanted to go.
Yeah. So here, let me pull this overlay off so everybody can see all of it. I put this out. I'm going to be putting it out some more. And this isn't like just us. Anybody is welcome. But at the time when I created this, I just needed to get something out there. I reached out to Jeff, made sure Friday night from 7 to 9 was still a deal. So there is a meet and greet on April 21st from 7 to 9 at the Cathouse at the Spring Fling. Any and all content creators are welcome. Whenever, just so everybody knows, in case you haven't followed the channel or been around a long time, it doesn't matter if I'm doing a meet and greet at Bike Fest or if I'm doing one at the Cathouse or wherever. My attitude is, if I post a meet and greet, I would love to have as many content creators come, because this isn't about meeting me and Firecracker and nobody else, can say anything or be anything. We want to have a meet and greet so that if people want to meet content creators, they can meet as many as possible in one place. And that's what I've done at Bike Fest. And that's what this is about. Like Jeff said, when I put this together, I didn't know for sure what the Badgers and the parade and the timeline was. I just sent this to Jeff and said, "Is this cool? Can we do this?" And he said, "Yes, absolutely." So we may actually go to the Cathouse and then do the parade go to the Switchback and do the parade up to the Cathouse at 7 o'clock. So maybe we'll get there a few minutes after 7. It's only like 10, 15 minutes or whatever it is, depending on how they roll out of the Switchback, or maybe we'll go to Switchback and then we'll run up to the Cat House if everybody else isn't ready to leave when we're ready. But 7 o'clock or shortly thereafter, we will be at the Cat House for the meet and greet. Any and all content creators are welcome. And my idea of a meet and greet's not going to be us standing up on the balcony and waving at you from up there. We're going to be down at the bar having a drink, doing our thing, visiting with our friends. But we would love for you to come up, introduce yourself, shake our hand, say, hey, dickhead, do you got a sticker? Whatever. I'm down. We ordered new stickers. They are going to be delivered this week. So we should have plenty of stickers for Spring Fling to hand out. If you want a sticker, if you're not into stickers, that's fine. But I mean, some people want them, so we'll have them. So that is our meet and greet plan. And every and all content creators, Witchcraft Cycle Works, Road Rush Nation, anybody that's coming, as far as we are concerned, you are welcome to come hang out with us. We'll all try and sit at a table to make it easy on people to come up and meet more people and things like that.
Now, Mike, you said content creators. Would that include subscribers and fans of the show? Or
right. I mean, when I say content creators, the idea is to have people who create content, whether it's Facebook, like yourself, you have your road group, or us, for us to be there for everybody who cares to meet content creators. So, it's not the idea is I want people who watch this show, who watch this channel, to come up and say hi so I can say thank you. I mean, you can ask Firecracker. That's my deal. Why I want you to come up and say hi is so I can shake your hand and tell you thank you for supporting my channel and my content. And Witchcraft Cycle Works, you are a content creator, bro. You're bikers, but you're content creators because you've been putting content out on Facebook, which is what drove people to
YouTube.
On YouTube. And you're part of the family now. You're in the content creator world. I prefer content creator over social influencer because, the fact of the matter is we might be a social influencer, but that's not my goal. I don't sit down and make a video and say, how can I influence someone? I sit down and share my insights or my thoughts or my viewpoints. And if you agree with them, great. And if you don't, maybe I'll learn from your viewpoints. But I create content and, sometimes it may sway people a certain way, but that's not the purpose of the content generally. It's the purpose of the content is for me to share my lifestyle, my beliefs, my thoughts. And if you're down with those, then awesome. And if you're not, that's okay too. Mike Bowman, we met last year at Spring Fling. He went and did the ride with us out of the Switchback.
That's how I met you guys. I met you, I think, down at the Lake of the Ozark Bike Fest.
This year we're gonna be hanging out at the pool, bro. You ain't gonna be the only one in the pool. I told him, Firecracker, that you booked a room at the same place.
Yeah, but is he going to be there when we're there?
He'll be there before Friday.
Yeah, I'll be there Thursday morning.
We'll be there Wednesday, Thursday, and we got to leave Friday.
Now, last year, you got to see me in my
Thursday night.
swimsuit. This year, I get to see you in your swimsuit.
Her swimsuit, a t-shirt, and a pair of shorts, bro. Unless I can talk her into something else. If you can get her drunk enough to put on a bikini, I'll buy.
Let's see how I do at this weight loss and getting up and working out every morning.
Yeah. Just so you know, she got her ass up at 5 a.m. Went to the gym this morning.
No, 4 a.m. was at the gym.
She got up at 4:45. At 5 a.m., she was gone for the gym, and I was still snoozing. Nice. I did get up one time and go with her, but she has a gym buddy that usually meets her, and they do this together and stuff. But yeah, she's been. I said gym buddy, I didn't say guy. I said they meet you. It's getting close. 9 mil. Hey, 9 mil. James is in the house, man. How are you doing, brother? James is one of my early channel supporters. We met him at Bike Fest a couple of years ago. Him and his wife. They came to BBB. They're out of Southern Missouri. I don't see him online as much as I'd like, but it's cool to see him in the chat tonight. And James, I hope you guys are all doing well. So tell the wife we said hi. And Dallas, don't give me this I'm not a content creator shit. I've seen your concrete channel. tend to drink
Hey,
beer with cool people. Yes, ma'am.
why don't you go over our events and then I'm gonna hop off of here.
All right. Well, let's get into the events. First, Witchcraft wants to know if I can get 2 coats of wax with the bike wash. I want to know who's giving the tips. If Bill's giving the tips, the deal's off. If I'm washing and waxing, because I don't want nothing Bill's got to give. So let's go over the events. So Spring Fling, April 20th through the 23rd, we will be there. May 6th, we will be back for the International Female Ride Day. May 11th through the 13th, we will be at Lake of the Ozarks Harley Davidson for the 3rd annual Ozark Rides Rally. I'm going to touch on that real quick. They are giving away 2 883 Sportsters and some e-bikes and stuff as gifts. They've got vendors that are still popping in with stuff that they're doing to give away. One of the, I don't know if it was Encore or someone else, but is maybe Ozark Amphitheater, I think it was, is doing Breaking Benjamin tickets.
Oh yeah.
So, that's still building. So, Steve, keep an eye on that. We will be there. I know our buddies from Ozark Rallies and Routes will be there promoting that event. They're doing a giveaway with Lake of the Ozarks Harley Davidson for the 120th anniversary, a free paid trip. But, not that anybody gives 2 shits, but if you do give 2 shits, I'm doing a guided ride. So, for all those people that say, hey, I want to ride with you, I will be doing a ride at 1:45. See here, I think I might even have a flyer that shows the route.
You have to sign up to ride with you, though.
Yeah, you have to sign up. You have to get a hold of Lake of the Ozarks Harley Davidson. But May 13th at 1:45, you can call Lake of the Ozarks Harley Davidson and contact them. But if you want to ride with me, you can do the Stover Loop. They say it's 91 miles. It's going to take us about 2 hours. We'll leave Lake of the Ozarks and run up here to Eldon, cut across to Versailles, come back into Stover, come back down here to 5. Now, it's not a planned stop. They've got some planned stop at a gas station in Versailles up here. But there's this bar right here called Whiskey Dick's. Remember that place?
Yep.
That was the bar that we couldn't
I'm thinking
remember
we
the
might
name
have
of.
a pee break or a breakdown or somebody dying of dehydration or something and have to stop there. Then we'll roll back into Lake of the Ozarks Harley Davidson. So I'm doing that ride on May 13th in conjunction with Lake of the Ozark Harley Davidson, Ozark Rides Rally. Well, I thank them for putting all that stuff on together. And then May 26th, we're right back at it 2 weeks later with the Buckhorn Rally, the Mid-American Freedom Rally. This one is near and dear to me and April's heart. We have put a lot of hours into this. We've been working on this rally committee. We've been a part of it for 4 years now. But this year I'm the chairman. And we've got some really cool bands on Saturday night. Firecracker, you want to tell them who's playing? Do you remember?
We have Night Train and AC/DC tribute band.
Hell's Bells.
Hell's Bells, yeah. There
On
we go.
Saturday night. Who's on Friday night?
Friday night is Soundbox, and on Sunday night is Wasting Sunday.
Yep. So this is an
I think
old school
that's how you
bike
say that.
rally. I mean, you can expect 1,000 to 1,500 people for attendance. Private campground. Alcohol is served on the campground, but you can bring your own alcohol in. It's like $35 for the weekend, and that includes tent camping. If you want to do RV, you can do more than that. There's a website for it, but if you just get on Facebook or Google and do Mid-America Freedom Rally, you'll find it, or you can message me. But it is a really cool old school event. Unfortunately, I'm your MC for all the field events. We'll be doing field events on Friday afternoon and Saturday and Sunday because for some reason people like to get drunk and play on motorcycles. And we do human games. We do, ride the plank, and we do the weenie bite and the keg roll and all kinds of stuff. Find your bike. We do the egg toss. There ain't nothing like the egg toss when a couple are fighting and they start throwing eggs at each other like they're fastballs. But we have a good time. The Freedom Rally is awesome. So I'll be working a lot. And Firecracker's in charge of the bands, but she may have a little bit of time, and I may have a little bit of time. At least, even if you come, we are not the main event. We are not the main event. There will be things there that you could not unsee. There is a Miss Freedom contest. There is a Mr. Buns contest. There is a wet T-shirt contest. It is a good time. Usually Bert the biker dog is there. There'll be a few people there that are local that like to party and have a good time. After that, June 3rd is the cancer victim benefit at the Ice Hole at Lake of the Ozarks. That one's kind of a personal thing for us. We're friends with the owner of the Ice Hole, and it's one of their relatives, and they've got a little local benefit going on June 3rd, and we're going to be there to support that. I'm sure Mike Bowman and Bert and them will be there if they can make it. That's in a kind of their neck of the woods as well. June 23rd and 25th. I didn't make a flyer for this one. It's on our Facebook page, but that's kind of a personal one for me. That is my first Ozark camp out. So I say it's mine. I'm kind of, organizing it, but it is, any content creators are welcome. Any fans are welcome. We're just hanging out at Big Rock Candy Mountain in Jadwin, Missouri. It's a really nice campground with cabins and tents. They have an in-ground saltwater pool. It's on top of a mountain next to the scenic riverways and beautiful Ozarks. And we're going to do a ride from there through Licking to Uranus. And we're going to maybe see if we can get people to donate and raise some money for prostate cancer or something. We're going to call it the Licking Uranus ride. So if you think you're up for Licking Uranus, you come see us. And then we don't know about July, Milwaukee, the 120th hometown rally. That's a possibility. It's unconfirmed. If some things work out, then we might be there. Otherwise, we won't. Sturgis is already booked, planned. We will be there the 7th through the 11th. We get there Sunday night. We'll leave Saturday morning, but we'll be there the week of. We'll try and get together with Jeff and everybody. And one of my lights went out. Now we know how long that battery lasts, about 2 hours on the dot. So anyway, we'll be at Sturgis. That's going to be a great time. If you're coming to Sturgis, shoot me a message. Let me know. Well, maybe we can figure out some place to do a meet and greet there. I know a few vendors. Maybe somebody would, let us hang out at their tent, and so everybody would know where to come find us or something. Mike Bowman says sure thing, so I expect they're going to be there for the cancer benefit. Okay. Late September, early September actually is Shovel Fest. That's right. Our friends up at Purdy, Stony Hill, that raises money usually for a charity. A lot of times it's Camp Hope. It might be something different, but it's September 9th, and that is a shovel head bike show. I mean, all bikes are welcome, but only shovels are judged. They do a lot of cool stuff. They'll have a band. Bill and Ray, I'm sure, will be there, and their shovels will be in the show. They're always there. And Bill will dance for tips. So, feel free. There's pictures of April sticking money in his pants one year. I can post those for all you later on my OnlyFans page. And then right after that, we roll into Bike Fest. And then right after that, we roll into Bikes, Blues, and Barbecue. And more details will be coming about those events later in the year. We'll have meet and greets planned maybe for some of those as well. But that's kind of the events. And when Steve gets back, we'll let him tell about his event. But Firecracker, are you jetting on me?
I am jetting.
Are you needing a smoke break? A vape break?
A vape.
A vape break.
But I need a potty break, and I'm just going to let you guys do your thing now.
I had to go tinkle.
You don't have a Gatorade bottle under the desk?
I will next time.
Okay. Get your shit together. I gotta figure out my light because my light went out. I gave her my light, and I used a new light, and apparently it only runs 2 hours on battery. So I'll fix that problem next time. Huh?
You see you just fine.
Yeah, but you can't see. I no longer have my little blue purple background.
Well, you're not getting this one back.
I'm not getting that one back. See how it works? Bowman's going to be at Sturgis as well. Ray Moto Life said, "Bye, Firecracker at Two Wheels, because you're leaving us." Hey, Firecracker, you need to say hi to somebody.
I
will. Witchcraft says, "Good night, all. I expect there must be signing off. If you're leaving, they're leaving. They ain't hanging out with me and Steve. They know better. They know that's going to be a shit show." And
all right.
Will says, "And April." All right, we'll get on.
All
We'll
right.
let you guys
See
get off
everybody.
here. Evil Rick says, "Don't think I'll make the Ozark Bike Fest year. Kinda got a new front tire scheduled." Jay says, "32-ounce Gatorade bottle with a big hole is a lifesaver." Steve, I have not talked about your event, but I'm about to put it up here, and you can talk about that and give me a break.
Okay, yeah, no problem. So for the last couple of years, I've been helping a hometown buddy of mine that's been riding motorcycles forever. And 9 years ago, he started the Big Ass Poker Run. He's moved it around a little bit, but I think he's made a home here in Kansas City. And he really has aspirations for this event. He'd like to make it a premier poker run here in the Midwest part of the United States. And so it's located in Kansas City. It will be held at Worth Harley Davidson. They've got an excellent setup there where they serve food. They've got a area for bands. It holds a lot of people. And it's a 5-card poker run where it's $20 per hand. You can have up to 3 hands, so up to $60. And the first place prize to really try to get this thing going is $5,000 cash. We had guys coming up to us saying, "Oh, it's probably like parts, or, it's a gift card to some, store or whatever." No, man, $5,000 cash money. And the guy that won it last year was ecstatic. I mean, he just couldn't believe it. And then on top of that, I mean, second place is $600 and third place is $400. So a lot of times that's bigger than a first place prize.
Absolutely.
And it's open to anybody and everybody. You do not even have to participate with a motorcycle. If you want to bring a car, a truck, it doesn't matter. And he keeps some of the proceeds go to some charities that are important to him. He kind of keeps it private. He doesn't want to get beat up on it, but I can promise you he is a stand-up guy. He does not need the money. And so some of those dollars do go to some children's charities and some military charities. That's what he'll tell me. So,
and I think you ought to give a shout out to the sponsors of this event.
Yeah, absolutely. We've gotten to know Schmidt Law Firm a little bit, haven't we, Mike?
Absolutely. Ben's a great guy.
Yeah. And not only a great guy, but he rides and races motorcycles. So we got a chance to visit with him a little bit in St. Louis at that bike show. It's very obvious that he knows the world. He knows the culture. He's a biker. And if you are involved in an injury accident, I mean, that's the guy you want, right? Because he's already going to know half the game. He's going to know who you are and what you're about.
So I'm a little secret out. I took Ben outside and he did a little interview for me at Cycle Showcase. And I haven't aired this yet, but because I wasn't sure how it came out, because there was a lot of background noise from the highway and stuff there, but we went outside. But he gave me about 4 or 5 minutes of content of, as an attorney, what his advice for you is. And his advice for you is not hire him. I mean, that's kind of what I expected, is hire this attorney or that attorney or an attorney with experience, or, no, his advice, me and you talked about this, was about insurance. And I'm going to put that out in a video at some point, but he didn't say hire me or you're not going to get a good settlement. What he said was, do these things, make sure you have this coverage, because these are things that can really make a difference in what your settlement looks like. And, that's just him giving people honest, real advice, not promoting himself, not trying to make people hire him, but telling you what you need to know so you can be protected. And if you're in an accident, have the best possible opportunities to, recuperate, to get what's owed to you, those kinds of things.
Yeah. And I know that firsthand. For those that don't know, I am an insurance agent. I sell motorcycle insurance along with other lines of coverage. But he's exactly right. If a big part of protecting yourself in the event of an injury is having the proper coverage. And
thanks,
so,
Doc Harley, for tuning in tonight. He's another guy tuning off. We're dropping off. The eye candy left, Stephen. They're leaving it to just us, but that's okay.
And Jeff's not only is Jeff a great guy that owns the Cathouse, but he's a cool dude, and he is so much fun to talk to. I mean, you can only imagine, as fun as he was tonight. I mean, when the cameras are off, it's awesome.
Right.
Great
Jeff's
guy.
probably behaving pretty well because he's on my YouTube channel. And he doesn't want to do anything that's going to get me a strike or things like that. You know, he's a straight shooting guy, but I'm sure he tones it down. He's a little careful about what he says on YouTube. He knows that YouTube kind of owns this, playground that we're in, and we got to be careful about, playing outside their rules or they'll strike us. But, he is an absolutely great guy.
So that's pretty much about the poker run. It's May 20th, and he has teamed up with Embassy Suites, which is right across the highway, and they're giving a discount for hotel rooms. And so we'd love to see anybody and everybody show up and make it a really, really great event.
Well, I will be fitting that interview in at some point in the future where I think it fits in good, or I'll make a specific video on it. I'll be real honest with you, everybody. It's 11 days till tax time, and I haven't even started on my taxes. So after tonight's stream, you're probably going to get some quick and easy videos, if any, till I get my taxes ready, or else I am going to be in trouble with the IRS, and they may be coming after all this camera equipment. Who knows? But anyway, so we talked about IFR and the $5,000 poker run and Schmidt. The other thing I thought about talking about, was some stuff that's in the news. So I'm going to throw this article up here. Steve, you follow Harley Davidson pretty close. You might probably remember it was like a year ago when Harley Davidson, maybe a little over a year ago, they announced this HD marketplace where they were going to put pre-certified Harley Davidsons on the website, and you could go to harleydavidson.com and shop for, new or used bikes, and, they'll be pre-certified bikes, and we'll know and be able to see them. And it's one instead of going to a bunch of dealer websites like we used to have to do, you go to harleydavidson.com and all these bikes are listed there. Well, Polaris must think that's a good idea because that's what they're doing for Indian motorcycles and more. Now, I don't know if you got a chance. Did you get a chance to see this article?
I didn't.
So basically, riders shopping for new or used Indian motorcycles now be able to view, research, and purchase them at Polaris Exchange, the new online shopping and selling platform. New and used products from Polaris will be served, including slingshots, ATVs, UTVs, snowmobiles, as well as Polaris accessories and protection products, and Indian motorcycles. So,
makes sense.
Anyway,
I think, I know a lot of car dealerships now put a lot of energy into selling their vehicles online. It's the direction we're going. So it doesn't surprise me that they're jumping on Harley Davidson's coattails and starting this venture. Makes sense.
I'm going to throw this out in the chat in case somebody wants to join the stream, because we'll just kind of, bullshit after this. We got one more article to get through here next. So the other thing I wanted to talk about, but besides Harley Davidson, marketplace being copied by Indian, is that the Chinese Harley Davidson, the most affordable Harley Davidson, has been launched, the X350. Now, most affordable is outside the U.S. because what this boils down to, and I did a video about this bike a year and a half ago when I heard about this stuff was coming, but this is not something you and I can buy, Steve. It's not in a dealership for sale. It's in a dealership, but not for sales. So have you seen anything on this yet?
I haven't.
So this is the replacement for the Street 500 for the Riding Academy bikes.
I
So
was
if you
going
go
to
to the
ask.
Harley dealer and you do a riding class, this is what you're going to be riding in the future, the X350.
Okay.
My concerns with this is a 350cc parallel twin, not a V twin. Chinese made by QJ Motors, which actually makes the Benellis. So if you've heard of Benelli, they make the Benelli. This is based off of a 300cc Benelli bike or 350cc Benelli bike. Originally, they thought it was going to be a 300cc, and then they changed it, and it's a 350cc parallel platform. But basically, this is their Benelli version of a Harley Davidson with the different styling and things like that, but that motor and platform. And so anyway, that's the Chinese bike. And that thing is less than $4,000 US when you buy it in China, which is still going to make it pretty damned expensive in China. We'll see how it does. But that is the kind of the big news. But it is not for sale in the US, but it is for sale in foreign markets. And I'm going to bring in Ray from Ray's Moto Life. Ray's going to join us. I don't know if Ray wants to talk about this, aspect of this 350 and stuff. But, for me, my concern in the US, if they were to sell this in the US, is it would maybe devalue the brand. People, it's a $4,000, value in US, transition from China. It might be even less because there might be tariffs in that pricing in China. Who knows? Being it's made by QJ, probably not any tariffs on it being manufactured there under that brand. But, have you ever seen a parallel twin Harley?
No.
It's a Riding Academy bike, and I understand they need something for the Riding Academy. What's going to be interesting is there's a 500cc version of this also. It's not been released yet, and the question will be, will that be a Riding Academy bike in the US as well, or will that be something they might actually bring to market, or will they bring it to market only in the global markets but not in the US?
That would make a great campground bike,
And I don't think it's a bad starter bike.
No, not at all.
As long as the quality is not what we have typically associated with Chinese products. Some Chinese products, and I'll be dead honest, I work in the IT industry. Computers and iPhones have been made in China and places in Taiwan, and some of those products are high quality. And then some Chinese products are very, very low quality. I'm going to tell you guys, every once in a while I get somebody who hates on me for doing a sponsored video or for reviewing something. You have no idea at this point, since I hit 10,000 subscribers, I bet you I get 3 to 4 emails a day wanting me to trade a YouTube video for an Amazon product. Yep. I got one today that has emailed me twice about doing gummies with THC. I've got
Sting's not getting those.
I got guys wanting me to review bed sheets and,
oh my God,
$20 Amazon products. And most of them I just file in the spam and go on.
Yeah.
Once in a while, if they're something that's they at least formulate their email well, I'll give them the courtesy of replying back, hey, I only do motorcycle products. Some of them are obviously just like a chain email that they're sending to 1,000 people. And, here's our Amazon product, blah, blah, blah. And it's a bed sheet this week. And tomorrow it's going to be a flashlight. And next week it's going to be a food
cup holder.
Not even a cup holder that fits a motorcycle.
Yeah, no shit. Oh, man. No, I wanted to ask Steve something about, I had to run to the bathroom a minute ago when he was talking about that poker run. You said something about the first place, second place. Now, how does he, what was you saying? Like, what is it, like the card competition? Like when you get the deck of cards at each place, is that how, or why does he give the money away? What's the contest?
Well, what he's doing is he wants to promote this into a big event. He wants the Midwest to have something unique that can draw bikers together. Okay. And so that's his goal from what he's told me. And then
but the money doesn't go back into the poker run. When you pay for your card, that's this this is not the prize money is sponsored. It's guaranteed. So it's not $5,000 if they sell $5,000 worth of cards.
Yeah.
They have a guaranteed $5,000
Okay.
first place is sponsored by somebody and guaranteed, right,
Yeah.
Steve?
Yeah, and he doesn't keep the money. He doesn't keep a dollar of it. It all either goes to a charity, and I believe he is also in an MC, and some of that proceed goes to help whatever else the things that they're
Yeah. Well, I mean, I was
It all
wondering
goes
because
to
when
a
I
big
came
cause.
back in, you were saying something about you didn't even have to show up on a motorcycle. You could have a car.
Right.
And I didn't know if you meant like the money was going towards the person that won the poker run, the cards, or if it was if it was a different kind of contest that they were doing there at the poker run,
Yeah, I think he'd like to get it to where sponsors would generate the entire $6,000. I know he has to dip into some of that, but he's getting to the point where he's getting close. And great guy. And if you get a chance to meet him, he's just like Jeff. I mean, he's grown up in the motorcycle culture. His heart's in the right place. He doesn't need the money, promise you.
And Ray, to kind of maybe to give you an idea how this thing works, because last year we did it, and it was the first time we had done one quite like this. They have this big long envelope with like a punch card inside it. So the envelope's already sealed, and on the outside of the envelope is a number that corresponds to whatever card you pull from the deck. So if you pull a card from the deck, that corresponds to a number on your envelope, and they hole punch it. But you have no idea if you got an ace or a deuce when they hole punch. You don't know what you have till the last stop, and they punch it, and then they pull your card out, and then they cross-reference it and see what cards you got. So you can't go into stop 3 saying I got 3 aces. You go to stop 3, you have no idea what your hand is.
Well, that's good though. I mean,
It's very much with this kind of money. He's done a really good job of making sure there's not going to be any cheating. Nobody at a bar is going to be tempted to let you pull a different card or something else because it doesn't matter. They have no idea if you're pulling an ace or you're pulling a deuce. You're just pulling a card, and then they're punching a number, and what you pull is not what you have in the end.
Yeah.
Right, Steve?
And something that needs to be brought up too real quick. So the only way you could cheat that I can figure out is that if you try to open up the envelope.
Yeah.
So he does a great job of making sure the envelope is secure, and then he inspects that envelope with an iron fist. And if there's any indication that has been compromised, you're out.
Now, and this is exactly where now? What? It's in
it's in Kansas City, and it's held at Worth Harley-Davidson, which is on the north end of Kansas City. They're a large Harley-Davidson dealership that has a concert venue out in front of it. They serve beer. They have food. They and I didn't mention earlier, they will have a band playing after the rally for a couple hours.
Well, I mean, you're right. When you hear about the Midwest, what are you really hearing about? There's not a lot that you hear about. It's either Texas or Sturgis or, Northeast or South,
Yep.
I mean, basically that's what it is, the big name known stuff. I mean, you can go on that, there's an app you can get where those guys go to rallies. I'm not trying to shout out anybody's name because I'm not affiliated with anybody like that, but that biker info or something like that, and like it shows every state, and there's tons of stuff in every state, but people just don't go, they don't realize it. There's a lot of stuff going on. It's just not like the big name, Sturgis or Daytona or those big time events, Laconia and things like that. So, and I like the more smaller ones.
Is one of those sites that I hear people use a lot to find rallies.
Yeah.
Our little Mid-America Freedom Rally, we make sure it's on CycleFish and some of our events and stuff like that. But yeah, Bikes, Blues, and Barbecue is probably the most well-known rally because it is a top 5 rally. Actually, Harley Davidson is now giving away a motorcycle at that rally, but that happens late fall, October. It's a couple 100,000 people. But outside that, until a few years ago, that was the only well-known event in the Midwest, as far as like on a national level. Now, Bike
Yeah.
Fest, I think, is growing.
Yeah. Well, I
I
mean,
totally agree.
Bikes, Blues, and Barbecue isn't it the one that where they like they moved it or something, or one of the towns like trying to stop it, or they moved it to the other place?
Yeah, they were originally in Fayetteville, which has become a very liberal town,
Yeah.
and it's been moved to Rogers, which is just up the road 20
Yeah,
miles. That's
yeah.
where
I
the
was gonna
Harley
say
dealer
that
is.
before, yeah.
But a lot of people like us stay in Eureka Springs no matter what. I don't care where the home is. My home's going to be in Eureka Springs. That's where I want to lay my head down at night.
Yeah. Ray, have you ever been to Bikes, Blues, and Barbecue?
No, I've been asked to go a couple of times. I just haven't. I just haven't went, and it's not that I ain't liked it. It's just I've watched 2 or 3 videos of people doing it, and I shouldn't judge that. Of course, I shouldn't. I know better. But it seems like one year it's like this awesome thing, and then next year it's like seeing somebody else. And it's like, well, like you're saying, they moved it, they didn't want people there, and then it's like, really, what is it? What's going on there? Is it? I know the riding has got to be good. I mean, it can't. Hell, anytime you're riding, surely it's got to be good. So, but event wise, like, is there going to be more vendors, or is there going to be the same ones or different? I mean, it's because I don't know where they set it up at. Like you're saying, in that town, is that a better place for them, or is it just?
Well, I'll give you my lowdown from my perspective, and then Steve can give you his. 2019, I went, and they were like not quite Sturgis level, but almost for vendors. JP Cycles is there with their semi at the Harley dealer at Rogers Pig Trail. There are big vendors everywhere. There is riding. There is stuff on every corner. They have a fairgrounds that was full of vendor villages. I never even made to, because we went down to Dixon Street and spent all afternoon drinking beer and watching cool motorcycles and motorcycle shows and concerts. And we absolutely had a blast, and it was great. But COVID came, and the city of Fayetteville used COVID as a cover to cancel it. And I said they used that as a cover. They might argue that, but they used this excuse of they were short-staffed on medical people, and they couldn't, handle it if there was a big rally and this and that. But they still had football games. And the fact is, from statistics that I've seen, there are more incidents and injuries at a Razorbacks football game in Fayetteville than there are from the bike rally.
Yeah.
So that was just a big ass excuse because they liberal, community, the government, the hospital decided they didn't want to have it there anymore. So the promoter, Tommy, and I've had him on my show. I mean, I've had him on my show a couple times now. I've got to talk to him and know him a little bit. He was trying to work with them, and they canceled it a second year on him. At the 1 month before the rally, they canceled it, pulled his parking area permit and all this for the event and everything. Which, I mean, for when you're talking about a rally this size, 1 month is nothing. You can't readjust for that. You can't find a new venue and place for everybody when you're talking something that's 300,000 bikes. And so he had to cancel it the second time. And so they moved it last year to Rogers, and they had a few bumps in the road. I'll say last year, it was the first time in Rogers. Things were better. They weren't back to 2019 levels, but they're working on it. He's really working hard at it. It will get back there. What's unique about Bikes, Blues, and Barbecue, it is the largest charity motorcycle rally in the United States. That rally's purpose is to generate money to be distributed to charities, and to help Northwest Arkansas. And that's one reason, even during COVID, we went every year, whether there was a rally or not, we went down there and supported the businesses and the bars and everything else, because we knew all that money and all those businesses depended upon that to stay alive, to stay in business. And some had to close.
Yeah. Well, I'm looking at it right here, and it's saying 6 hours and 5 minutes from me. Or or well, actually from right below Murfreesboro. So 8 hours. So actually, that's not as far as Florida, Daytona. Daytona would be further. I went to Daytona, so actually that would be less. You know, so I may look into that. Because that's not, like I said, 6, 7, 8, 6 hours from below Nashville right there, and I'm 2 hours from that. From Nashville. So 8 hour ride. That ain't bad.
No, it's beautiful riding, and the Cat House and the area is great. There'll be 100,000, 200,000 bikers roaming across Northwest Arkansas, checking out all the beautiful roads and all the scenery. Evil Rick asked if it's still spread out all over the place, more concentrated. It was more spread. It was still spread out, but it wasn't as congested last time. I think a lot of people kind of held off a year to see what happened with Rogers and maybe didn't want to make reservations and things like that because it'd been canceled a time or two in the past. But, I think it'll be full steam next year. I think it'll be great. We've already got our rooms reserved and booked. We'll be in Eureka Springs. I encourage everyone to come go. I want to give a shout out to this guy here behind Rudy's Fairing. Me and him had a little chat earlier actually late last week. If you guys saw the video I did on the TPMS system, he actually won it. I got to get it shipped out to him and stuff. But Rudy's Fairing, and he probably doesn't want it promoted particularly. I mentioned it because it's something I saw from his channel, but he's a retired firefighter, first responder. So I'm going to give him a shout out anyway, whether he likes it. Go check out his small channel. He needs to make more content. He said he's got some stuff he's working on, but if you like to check out small creators that are getting started and support them, then go check out Behind Rudy's Fairing.
In that last comment about it being spread out, from what I can tell, so you had 3 main areas of the rally. You had Fayetteville with Dixon Street, and they had a vendor area over at Baum Stadium, college baseball stadium. And then you had Pig Trail Harley Davidson, which was up in Rogers, and they had a ton of vendors, bands, beer, food, it's definitely one of the best spots of the rally. And then you have Eureka Springs, the Cathouse and Switchback and all that. So in my opinion, it's going to maybe make it better because now the downtown Rogers area is going to be the central location. And so Pig Trail Harley Davidson is just 4 miles down the road. And then Eureka Springs is 45 minutes away. So I think it's going to help make it easier to get around.
Yeah, well, actually, I put in my actual address too, because it's saying the Bike Explosion Barbecue. That's up on the line, right? I mean, that's pretty Rogersville.
It's pretty, yeah. Rogers is pretty north.
It's actually saying 10 hours. Let's see, it's a 10-hour ride, which ain't really bad. That's about the same as going to Florida, really. 10 hours, I think that's about it. Is what it says. Let's see. From Bikes, Blues, and Barbecue, Rogers. Yeah, 10 hours, 17 minutes, 674 miles. That ain't bad. Hell, I can do that in a day,
Well, and if you stay somewhere like Cathouse, like we do, you'll shave an hour off of that. I mean, it's 45 miles or 50 miles, but it's a 50-mile road, to be honest.
That's south of that, ain't it?
It's actually east. It'll be closer.
Oh, east. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, because it shows me going 40 through Memphis and then down to Arkansas and then up. So that might be why it's longer,
Yeah, you're probably coming across 40 and up. You'll come up probably. I mean,
it's taking me all the way down. Yeah, it's taking me all the way down 40 all the way into Arkansas and then up. So.
Yeah, so I lived in Memphis for 2 years. Not
God help you.
It was back in 2000, 2000 to 2002. I lived in Memphis for 2 years. But yeah, so 40 comes all the way across Arkansas. If you go through Memphis and take 40 across, what I would do if I was you, if you want as a content creator a recommendation, if you get off at Ozark or so there and come up Highway 23 off 40, right there north of Interstate 40 on Highway 23 is the scenic highway section of the Pig Trail. That is what is called the official Pig Trail scenic highway byway area. And it's got a couple of 15-mile-an-hour hairpins, but outside of about 3 15-mile-an-hour turns, it is some of the most beautiful riding.
And that's coming out of where?
If you go past Little Rock on 40, before you get to Fort Smith, you'll see Highway 23. Just turn right on 23, coming down 40, and turn right on 23, and take that straight north into Eureka Springs.
Okay,
and you will
I
ride
see
the
what
Big
you're
Trail.
talking about. Yeah, White Oak. Yeah,
that whole road is awesome.
Okay,
it's an amazing road.
Going through Cass and Combs and St. Paul and Crosses and Durham.
The part from 40 to Cass is the official byway. That's the official part. And anyway, it was it's the official part. So there's a store down there called Turner's Bend, and they sell patches and pins that say I rode the Pig Trail. And if you ride it from 40 to Cass, you have rode the official Pig Trail. And that's the part that everybody talks about. When they talk about the Pig Trail, that should be the part they talk about, because that's the official part. I camped at the lake, Beaver Lake or something like that, and had to pass through Rogers to get there from Dixon Street. So if you go from Dixon Street to Beaver Lake, you would go through Rogers, because Beaver Lake is actually just 15 miles from Eureka Springs. We actually last year, the house Jeff got for content creators was on Beaver Lake.
Well, I can tell you just by looking at it. I mean, I run interstate if I have to, like something like that, at least to get through Memphis and all that. But yeah, I would like to run. I'd just take an extra day and just run the back. In that way, I could take my time and and not have to worry about running that being dead beat at 100 mile an hour all day.
Well,
so because I rather go through
Dallas, so make sure.
I rather go do what?
You got to make sure Dallas goes.
Oh yeah, I mean that's a must. That we were talking just for back when we got back from St. Louis and stuff, that about coming out that way. So
well, if you come across 60, like hit Cape Girardeau, southern Missouri there, and you hit 60 and come across 60, that will run you all the way across to Springfield, and then it's a hop skip down to Eureka Springs from there. If you come across 60, you might run into riding in the Ozarks on his way there, because he's likely to drop down 63 and hit 60 and come across. Well, especially if he's meeting a friend.
Yeah, really. Now you're talking about right there at say that again, 60.
Yeah, there's a Highway 60. I think it comes out of Cape Girardeau.
I see a 65.
Well, it hits 65 at Springfield, but east of 65 should be a 60 running across the southern half of the state of Missouri.
And the southern half of Missouri is awesome.
And the 60 is actually a divided highway. It's not an interstate, but it is a divided 4-lane highway, 2 lanes each way for a lot of it. There's truck traffic, but it's not over congested like an interstate.
Okay, let's see. These damn maps only want to do certain things. I see a 160. Let's see, or I-60. Let's see.
Should be a US 60. Comes out of Poplar Bluff, James said. So I said Cape, but maybe it probably comes out of Poplar Bluff.
Yeah, I see. It's you go through Van Buren and Mountain View.
Yep.
Mansfield. Yeah. And then Springfield. Yeah.
60 comes out of Sykeston, Zampsize. Yeah. It's not 160.
And then Ozark, and then down to Branson, and then Ridgedale down that way. Yep. If you go that way, but you can still
you'll come
go
in
60
just
all
north
the way
of
over.
Springs, about 25 miles.
Yeah.
At 23 there.
And it's saying you can go all the way on 60, all the way over to Republic, past Springfield. And then, if you go down to Monette. Yeah, you could go down.
If you go to Monette, you got to stop and look for the silo. They have a giant silo that's painted very patriotic. A lot of people stop there and get their picture of their bike taken in front of it.
So actually, if we went,
I ride down through Monette, and then I take 86 into Eureka. I love 86.
little bit of trivia. A whole bunch of the banking software and stuff is done by a company out of Republic Monette area. I did an interview with them years ago and stuff, but they make a lot of the banking hardware and software for all across the country. It was going to be one of them jobs where you traveled all the time installing systems at banks.
I may ride my Metropolitan to save time. That's going to be a long, uncomfortable ride, buddy.
You may ride your Metropolitan, but the question is going to be is Ray going to strap it on a dolly and put it behind his bike so you guys don't take 3 days to get there?
Yeah.
And I want to know if you're going to be drinking
guys
Coors
show
Light
up.
on that thing.
That little thing to go, though.
But yeah, he can't be drinking Coors on a Metropolitan. He'll have to switch
No.
to Coors Light.
See, XAN says he's only 40 miles north of Cape Girardeau. So, I mean, them guys, Evil Rick, I mean, they're, what do you say, 4 hours? Shit, I'd be over there every year. If I was 4 hours away.
River Bluff said, "Hey everyone, what's up, River Bluff fellas?
What's going
I haven't
on?
seen you guys on in a
Jerry,
while."
and Neil, one of them at least.
Jerry, Neil, or Tom. It's one of the three.
Yep.
We'll see if he says which one it is.
Yeah. I don't. Who do you think it is, Mike? I'm gonna say Tom.
I'm gonna say Tom
Me too.
because Jerry's tag is Jerry River Bluff Baggers. Unless Jerry's
Neil's too
running
busy
under-
playing his guitar.
Yeah,
Look,
Neil might be marrying somebody. You never know.
Oh.
He's a certified. Jerry and Neil are both actually ordained ministers. Would you believe that?
Well, the Lord works in mysterious ways.
that's
And,
right.
oh, tonight it is Tom.
Amen.
So
You
we
nailed
got
it.
it right, Tom. It is.
400 miles from there. Yeah, that's not bad. I mean,
Yeah, you need to get your ass over here, brother.
I
We'll
know
show
it.
you a great time.
Yeah, we've been talking about it, kind of. I've done a lot of south stuff, east, and things like that. And I've got a few other things like May the 19th or 18th. I've got Loretta Lynn's,
TMR.
Chopper Weekend and stuff. So, that. And then let's see, towards the end of June, 1st of July, I'll be in Gulf Shores, Alabama. So, with the family, taking the family down there on vacation. Let's see, June the 10th and 11th, I'll be in Knoxville for the Traveling Talls Run to the Hills. August, let's see, I don't think I'm doing anything in August yet. September, I'll be having a run over here, meet up, and over about an hour or so away. And then let's see, October, we got Dallas's get together, and then yeah. What's the weather like still over there in August? Hot? Like
It's
Really?
pretty hot in August. It's pretty
Yeah.
hot and humid.
yeah.
So I'm going to Sturgis in August.
Yeah.
They usually runs about 107 out there, don't it?
Well, it'll run 100, 103, but we have a lot of humidity. It's a miserable 100.
Mike, yeah, I'm going to be there, buddy. I'll be there this year. I was going to go on the 21st or 2021, and COVID kind of freaked a bunch of people out and kind of freaked me out with my health issues, so I didn't go. I didn't want to be, laid up with my heart and all that with all that stuff. So
If
I kind of
Mike
missed
is
it.
there, Mike Bowman's there, then probably Bert the biker dog will be there. I know Bert went last year. So if you see Bert the biker dog, just tell him not to bite you, that you're friends with riding in the Ozarks. Not that he'd bite you anyway. Bert's a big old teddy bear. But they're good friends of ours, Mike and stuff. We met him at Spring Fling a year and a year ago. And Mike rides a 200 horsepower Ducati.
Damn.
But he rode with us, and he's not that stereotypical guy on a 200 horsepower bike. He doesn't show off. He doesn't.
Not going to do wheelies next to you.
He rides with the Harleys. The only difference between him and everybody on the Harley is his bike looks different. Yeah. But Mike says, yeah, we'll all be there.
Cool.
That means
Well,
riding it.
I'll be the guy.
There.
I'll be the dude that's the big dude there. He can't miss me. So
Will's pretty good sized feller, Bert's dad.
yeah.
But yeah, they're good people. We've gotten to hang out with them at Bike Fest last year, and they hang out at the ISIL, which is our favorite bar at Lake of the Ozarks when we go up there and stuff. So we've gotten to visit and hang out quite a bit.
Yeah, Dallas is saying, yeah, they're going to try to ride over there with me to Loretta Lynn. So I think I think Tweedledee and DDK from Tennessee riding, maybe coming down on the Saturday and just do like a tournament, come down and hang out that Saturday there. So,
am I thinking
not for
right?
sure.
I think the promoter for that Loretta Lynn rally was at the cycle deal in St. Louis, wasn't he?
Yeah, I think one of them was there.
Him and his wife.
Yeah. Cycle
Source Media was there. Cycle Source Media.
Cycle Source Media, yeah. I can't even think. It was totally blanked my mind. I've met them twice, and I talked to them. I jump on, the side chats of their lives, and
Chris Callan.
Yeah, Chris, and I forget her name. Man, I cannot think of her name. But yeah, they're lovely people, man. Real nice, down to earth. I mean, there's just they go to it. They're big time into that. And then of course they do they've been starting doing that smoke out. So I really thought about trying to make it in September. I'm not for sure yet, because these things are like just a few hours, 3-4 hours away, and it's like, why not? I mean, just so close and just so cheap to run over and stay a night, or spend a day and then come home. So he says Buck was at Cycle Showcase.
Yep.
Yeah. There was actually quite a few. There was 2 or 3 people that I did not know until I got home, and they were showing videos on their Instagram. I'm like, dude, I seen you. Why didn't you know what I mean? I was like, and you're following me. Why didn't you say anything? And like now it's like, I've met 2 or 3 people online that was there, and I've seen their videos. I'm like, just look for the guy in the red shirt, the big dude. Everybody said they had to, I was such a big guy there, and I'm like XAM biker. He's like, hell, you should have wore a red hat, not a red shirt, so everybody could see, you're standing so tall above everybody. And but yeah, I mean, it's amazing how you don't really know how who you're around until afterwards, and then you see this and with these platforms, and then you see their videos, and it's like, dadgum, you was there too, why didn't we meet? I mean, that's why I like those little events, because it's you can get more personal, you can get on a friendship better, you got time to talk, and it's not all like just boom 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 trying to do it like Sturgis. Don't get me wrong, going to go on the 85th, but the thing is, there's so much to do there. I'm going to be trying to do as much rides and places as I can go, and like I want to be around people that are going, that are my friends on this network and others. But that, I guess that'd be like maybe the nighttime, hanging out and stuff like that, because I really want to do a lot of the riding during the day. And I'm an early guy, man. I get up real early, so I want to be out riding before the sun even comes up. So,
well, that's kind of why I started this Ozark campout thing. I brought it up to dates here again, though, is people say, oh, I want to meet you, or I want to hang out. And I've done meet and greets, like we'll do at the Cathouse or at Bike Fest, but I got an hour or 2 and there's 50 to 100 people there, and I don't really get to like know you. Like we all sat down and broke bread or fish, or wasabi or whatever you want to say. But we sat down and we ate a meal together, and we visited, and we sat at a table at a bar for an hour. Whether you drank or you didn't didn't matter. We all sat there and told stories and told lies, and compared bikes and compared dicks and whatever else. But we did our thing, and we got to know each other. And that's what I want that Ozarks camp out to be, is an opportunity where there's not a bunch of other distractions. We're going to do a ride because, we're bikers and we love to ride, and I want people to see the Ozarks, but we're going to do a ride. And outside that, it's going to be hang out at the campground, drink, eat, sit around a fire, tell stories, tell lies, whatever, and have a good time and get to know each other, whether it's me or Ozark HD Riders or Bert the Biker Dog or, whoever's there.
Yeah.
But that's what I want it to be about is a laid back, really get an opportunity to know people kind of event, not this, oh, I'm there for an hour, shake your hand. We talk for 2 minutes, 3 minutes.
You
And
don't
I got
even remember them
person.
after they leave. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, it's funny you say that because that's what Jeff was saying about the spring fling rally. He wants it to be fun. He wants everybody to come there and just chill, have a great time, and ride motorcycles.
And that's the importance, I think. And don't get me wrong, there's people that love to, to do the vendor and do the shopping and all that stuff. And I like looking at what's new coming out, even though I don't have it. I'm just saying it's good to see the new products and stuff like that. But, really, like for me, if I'm really focusing on vendor stuff, it's because I want to do something for my motorcycle, or I need a part or something like that, or, that's why I like doing them smaller events, because it's not so commercialized and you feel like you have to be over here on this street and then over here at this bar or over here at this ride, and stuff like that. I mean, like when we were there meeting in St. Louis, we did the cycle showcase, but we actually sit down and eat lunch together. We sit around, it was a lot better doing something like that for me as well. And I mean, just a lot of people, I don't think a lot of these people on social media that are content creators or whatever, they don't understand that because, and I'm not talking about some of these guys in such, I'm talking about, and some of them may be like, I'm not trying to call anybody out or nothing, but like they put this content out and do all this and that's okay to focus on their stuff. But when it comes to, being part of this community, they're missing so much, because this is a tight, a real good tight community. And when you got a chance to hang out with 5 to 8, 9 guys, that's like yourself. I mean, that was awesome. I mean, Friday night was awesome. Saturday night was awesome. Just wish it was in a different location,
Yeah, it wasn't quite as easy to visit.
Yeah, I didn't care for that location, but it was fun. We still got to hang out. But I wish we would have had more time, to hang out. Like if we were somewhere else, if we would have picked a different, like you said, just those 8 or 9 of us that was around each other, we could have had somewhere else. We could have just had a ball, just us, and we wouldn't have had to like try to talk over each of the music and all that shit to hear each other. And you doing that camp out, man. I mean, that's that's where it's going to get good, because you can actually sit and just carry a conversation on and don't have to worry about, losing your voice. Because like when we was at the garage, I loved that place. That was awesome. Loved the music and all that, but it was loud. They should have toned down the music just a little bit. And I mean, the experience though of someone coming out there, if, people coming to your thing and getting to hang out with you, I get that, because I've met people and they're like, hey, shake, they shake your hand, thanks for coming, and that's it. And there ain't nobody behind me and they still don't want to talk, for 5 minutes. And I'm like, damn, dude, you really? Because a lot of people drive from a lot of places to meet somebody. And I mean, the furthest I drove was like 2 hours to meet 2 or 3 people. And it's like, only one of them remembers my name. And I talked to that guy, on social media and Instagram. So, and out of those 3, like 2 of them, they don't even know who I am, and that's okay. That's not, if they're not wanting to be part of the community, that's fine. But like I said, I think they're missing out on this right here. This right here, sitting here, taking 5 minutes, 30 minutes to sit here and communicate with these guys or y'all or anybody in the side chat, or even getting on the side chat and just getting to know people. To me, that's what's important. That's what I enjoy doing. So,
well, Mike Bowman, the guy on the Ducati that's going to be at TMMR, he came down and did a ride with us. I don't remember what ride it was. Mike, was it was one of our charity things or something you came down for? But he came down, he did a ride with me and my friends, and a storm blew in. And I was like, and he lives 70 miles away, 80 miles away. And that Ducati ain't got a lot of protection. I mean, he's got a helmet and leathers and everything, but I was like, you don't need to ride home through this freaking storm. Stay here. put him up at the house, let him stay at the house. It didn't matter. That's what we do in this community.
Yeah.
That's the kind of things we do and stuff. And, Mike wasn't a total stranger. I'd met him a few times and stuff, but that's part of that, mentality, that culture, that brotherhood.
And I love that part. And like I said before, I was saying something earlier about, bridging this gap between, there's a young lady, I'm not going to call her out, but she's like asking, hey, can you guys go do this and this? I wish our country was like this, blah, blah, blah. The community, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, hey, I don't care to check somebody's channel out, but here's the thing. If you want your community, because she loves our live community and the side chats and all that. And I'm like, if you love this community, you want your people up there to be part of this, then you need to, they're your people. Say, hey, come check this community out. If that's what you're wanting to do and start your community like that up there and get those motovloggers or, content creators or whatever, bikers, whatever you want to call them, in a community like this, they choose not to, or they would have that community. You know what I mean? You have to be willing to want to be part of this community, because if not, then you're not going to round up 3 people together if they don't want to be part of this community. If they're just trying to, just do their videos and all that and succeed in something, a goal they're looking for, that's fine. I mean, that's what they're doing. They're not interested in being, because I've met many people that's not interested in being part of the bike community on YouTube, or social media. They have social media, but they don't want no part of us in this community. And that's fine to say that, but then don't say, hey, let me do a meet and greet. I want to get to know people, blah, blah, blah. And then completely just don't even know the people's name or want to get involved with the community. I think that's kind of weird, to do that meet and greet and want to get to know other YouTubers and then just say, well, okay, y'all met me, you can subscribe, see you later. I mean, because I'm not talking about you, of course, but I'm saying there's people out there that do that, and that's all they want to focus on. And that's okay if they're about business and making money and all that, but I just don't think that, I don't like to follow those people and I don't, that just want to do that and then say, well, they just want us to subscribe to them and share their content, but then they turn around and say they want to be part of this community, but then they never come around. Or they'll get to a point where they're stuck at say 20,000 or 50,000 people. Then they want to jump over in our community and just get our subs and want us to push their stuff out. Then they'll never show back up. I hate that shit. I can't stand that. Either be part of the community and get to know us or move on. I mean, it's because we know what those ones are out for. And it ain't about the making money. I don't care if you want to make money or do your business, that's fine. But don't try to use us for your gain of purpose. You know what I mean?
Don't blow smoke up our ass.
Yeah.
Act like you're doing it for some reason you're not.
Yeah, because I see them pop up on my live streams in the side chat. And they're like, hey, anybody going to Daytona? I'm doing a meet and greet, come see me. And then you don't see them for, it's like, really? I mean, come on, man.
I had to block somebody. I had to block somebody on my channel because every time they commented on one of my videos, they were commenting and saying how they should go check out their channel.
Mm-hmm.
And, I mean, if you want to comment on my video about my video and stuff, and you want to say you have a channel and they can come over there to see your viewpoint or something else, that's one thing. But when you're just commenting on my channel to say you have a channel, come check out your channel, and you don't care what my video is about, you probably didn't even watch it, and that's all you're doing is trying to pump yourself to my audience, I'm going to probably block you because you're not really participating in the community.
Yeah. And not only that, I had a friend that said that he had shared something from a female's post, and she messaged him and said, don't share anything of my stuff if it's not about me. Like, if you're not going to, you know what I mean? It was like she was saying, don't be reposting my stuff if you're not going to be talking about me in it, and it's like, damn, I would have said, hey, first of all, I was just trying to share the stuff. But if you're going to be like that, I don't need to post. I won't never post you stuff, and
here's your deal. Why'd you share it if you didn't think the message was important?
Yeah.
That I mean, not to get too personal here, but I've had a little drama in my personal life in our motorcycle world and stuff because I'm part of an organization and stuff. And you know, sometimes people get misconceptions or they think something. You know, you guys have both met me in the real world. I mean, you've sat down, had a drink,
Had a drink
had
with
a
you.
meal with me. You've met me. I don't think I'm different on YouTube than I am in the real world, but I am
I think you're
cautious
shorter.
on. Huh?
I think you're shorter.
I'm shorter. I'm shorter in the
I'm
real
just
world.
fucking teasing you.
I didn't say I was tall or hung low. But, you know,
I'm
either
listening. Go
way.
ahead.
But I guess my thing is, I have a daughter. She's a teenager. I don't talk about it on YouTube because I respect her wishes, and she didn't want me to when I started this channel. We had that conversation. She was a teenager. She was old enough to have a conversation with me about it, and we agreed that I wouldn't put my personal address on YouTube because I didn't want people showing up at our house and me not being there, and her having to deal with that because of that. I've had to block people from my personal Facebook page because they tracked me down and figured out who I was and were sending me hate shit because they love Indian and hate Harley Davidson. And they'd be sending me messages in the middle of the day when I'm trying to work and shit and stuff. And not everybody understands that. And I don't talk about it a lot. You just deal with it and go on. Nobody wants to hear somebody else bitch about their problems. To be honest, they don't most of the time, unless it's your buddy. But my point is, when I post stuff as riding in the Ozarks, I'm careful about who I tag or what I tag. If I tag April, I don't tag her with her personal Facebook page. I tag her with Firecracker.
Yeah.
I don't tag her. If you find my personal Facebook page, you will find, if you look at my profile, that says, if we have not met in person, do not send me a friend request. I will not accept it. If you follow me for motorcycle content, go over to Riding in the Ozarks, because my personal page is for people I personally met or people I know, in some way or form. And it's not so much for myself, but it's for the people that I love and that I care about and to protect them. And, to be honest, if you're my friend and I tag you in a personal post, do you want some random stranger suddenly messaging you, say, hey, Mike at Riding in the Ozarks won't answer me. Can you ask him this?
Yeah.
There's a reason I won't answer you, because I done blocked your ass.
No shit.
Or whatever. But I mean, I've had that kind of stuff happen. I've had people message me about asking other content creators something, because that content creator either wouldn't answer them or whatever. And who knows what the history is there and stuff. But my point is, not everybody sees that side of it and understands, but sometimes you have to be, somebody said, guarded or protective. I got people I love that I would kill for, quite literally. YouTube don't strike me for that, but that's the facts. I protect my own and stuff. But sometimes it's as hard as a content creator, especially as I found, not that I feel like I'm big, but the bigger I get, the more I have to think or consider those things, because I run into more and more people in that audience who don't know where their boundaries are. Yeah.
And I get that. I mean, like, my daughters are teenagers and they're like, Dad, don't you ever post a picture of me? And they're just girls, and I'm like, well, first of all, this is about me. This isn't about you. And I'm not going to put your stuff out there. I'm not going to film you and put my children, I may film me walking around in my yard or something like that around the bike and stuff like that, but I'm not going to put, that out there. And there's been only very few people, let's see, 2 from social media that's met my wife. So, I mean, it's, very private life. This is a completely different thing. I mean, I don't think I'm different from here to person. I don't think you are either. Steve's not, because I've met you guys and we've hung out, and I know you're not different from on screen to real life. And
well, you saw me drunk, and I was too drunk to put on an act because Steve would drive me.
Well,
Hoopty Mobile. Everything. No, the truth came out in the Hoopty Mobile. When you hit that pothole,
When we're
there was
too
no
big,
bars
we're
rolled,
all
the
too.
truth came out.
Me and Steve's too big.
We were A-framing that bad boy all
Yeah.
through St. Louis, weren't we?
Yeah. Man, I tell you, it was a fun night. But yeah, it was. But yeah, I mean, there's things that I try to keep guarded. Now I've had to tell people before. Now I've give people my address. A few, and like I've sent out like I think 16 or 17 things of stickers today or yesterday, envelopes, and I did not even return put the return address on the envelope. But I put a card in there for certain ones that, is going to mail me something back. I put an address for them to send it to me. I didn't even want it on the front of the envelope. So, Kazimoto and stuff like that from overseas. The Piggy Biker, I just got his stickers in today. I don't think he's going to fly up from overseas over here to, do something crazy, which I would feel sorry for him if he did because,
It wouldn't end well.
Yeah, exactly. But he's a great dude. But I mean, there is certain people that I've told, I don't have stickers to send you, and I hate to be rude like that. And it's not a lie because I didn't. I just got them the other day. Dallas's wife had them made for me. So, and I've done my YouTube channel right at 2 years now, and I've never had a sticker or nothing like that. And I always wanted to do one. I was just trying to find the right logo. So, if you guys want some, give me your address and I'll send you some or a PO box.
Here's the deal. I want you to hand me mine.
That's right. There you go.
If it takes a year or 2 years or whatever, I want mine when you can hand it to me.
There you go.
That's because I want us to hook up again and hang out.
Yeah, I do too. Oh no, yeah. I've done told the wife even next year and I think Dallas has talked to Penny also, and he's wanting her to go to St. Louis with him. And I think I'm going to bring the wife as well, because I think she'll have a good time. She's not into the motorcycle stuff, but the other stuff, just seeing the city and going and doing stuff, she's into stuff like that. So
did she like wasabi? Because Steve was her guy.
Yeah, she would enjoy that place. I really think so. So, but like I said, there's so much that, people don't get. They think that this is our life. And I know a lot of people see me do a lot of lives, and I get that. Yes, I do. And I admit that. But also, I balance that out. If I'm here at home by myself, I'm doing one, or I do one on Monday night, or the family's in the bed. I'm not constantly on it, like some people assume, because I'm really not. I don't just sit here at the table from daylight to dark. I actually have a life out there. And, and I enjoy these lives. I really do. And that's why I do them, because of the community, because of meeting people and getting to know everybody. So, and I don't know. I think it's really something I'm going to try to get into, is like getting out there to at least somewhere we can all meet up, or, maybe when did you say your event was?
Mine is the last weekend in June, but Mr. Mike Bowman, who, I'm going to throw his Instagram tag out there. If you do Instagram, you can find Mike at Redline 13K. I believe that's what it is. Mike, if I got that wrong, you post it in the chat. But if you want to follow Mike on Instagram, he does have one, and it's Redline 13K, because I'm guessing that Ducati Redline's at 13K. Now, I don't know for sure, but I may find out, because Mike agreed to trading me bikes.
I just found him. He got a dog.
Huh?
He got a big old dog.
He's got a dog
with puppies on a picture.
Yeah, that's I think the picture of the dogs 5 years ago when he got them.
Okay, damn, post something new, buddy. No,
yeah, he was doing like I can't believe it's been 5 years kind of post.
Mike Bowman, yeah.
Yep.
Okay, I see him. Yeah.
All so, right. But Mike's got this 200 horsepower Ducati, and I've never rode a 200 horsepower bike. I've never rode a Ducati. So there's going to be a first ride video on riding in the Ozarks, and I'm going to camera the shit out of my bike, and then I'm going to get on his bike with an Insta360 and a mic, and I'm going to ride that son of a bitch, but he's going to trail me on my bike and record me with that. So,
Mike, I'll give you a sticker. Dime Breed. Thank you, buddy. Here's what it looks like.
How's he going to film me when he can't see you? You're so far ahead of him.
I don't know the 200 horsepower. I might not be, willing to get on it that much.
The
I
tires
mean,
even hit the
I'm not going to
ground.
get out and abuse somebody else's bike unless it's like a demo bike or dealership bike, or something that they give me to abuse. I took a Honda Rebel out that was brand new and did a Honda Rebel 1100 first ride. And me and the dealer talked about it. And I said, any stipulations, anything you don't want me to do or do? And they're like, go ride the thing and tell us the truth.
Yeah.
And that was cool. But I mean, it's got like 2 miles on the motor. And I'm like, am I not allowed to get on it because of the break-in period or anything else? Like, go ride it and tell us what you think. But like Mike's bike is still Mike's bike, and I'm gonna be respectful. I mean, am I gonna get on a little bit? Yeah. Am I gonna Am I gonna see how fast I can go in the quarter mile? No. I'm not.
Well, I kind of tried a little bit. I jumped on Dallas's Metropolitan, and I was like, "Oh yeah, let's go." I was so big though, it was uncomfortable. I hadn't had it mid controls or behind me in so many years. It's like, oh my God. But then I got on Penny's, his wife's bike, and it was like, that was a little bit, it was a 400. So it was the foot controls was a lot different. So he's like, here, take it down the road. I was like, you ain't gonna say twice to me. I jumped on it. And I didn't try to get on it too bad, but I did kind of get up to about 90 maybe. And a quarter of a mile, maybe, if that. So, I want to have fun on it. And Penny's like, I don't see how you just jump on and take off, without even never, ride. I'm like, because that's the way I was always taught. They gave me a dirt bike, said, here's the clutch, here's the gas, here's the brake, blah, blah, blah. Now get on it. And they put me on it. Yeah. And they said, here. And that's how I learned as a kid on a dirt bike. And because we went riding that Friday and the wife was with me, and he's like, here, because I didn't bring my bike because of the storms and stuff. And he's like, take my road glide. So I jumped on the road glide, and the wife jumps right on because she trusts me. She knows how I ride. She knows I would protect her, and I ain't going to drive her, into a wall or nothing like that. And Penny was like, man, that's awesome. You just jumped on that road hydraulic clutch. Never been on one before, with a hydraulic clutch. Never been on the new road glide. I've been on the 2007 road glide. I've been on a Milwaukee 8 114, but it was a street glide. And I just jumped on it. She's like, how do you just jump on there and go? I said, I don't know. It's just, that's normal. I figured things out real quick, and she's like, yeah. And your wife, I'm not going to say her name, but she's like, your wife just jumped on it. I said, because she trusts me, because I've rode enough it doesn't matter what bike it is. I'm going to jump on it. And if it takes a second to figure it out, I will, so, but, I love Mike that though, man.
So Mike's 13K, Redline 13K was probably his other Ducati. He's got two, but the one I'm going to ride, the 200 horsepower, is the Street Fighter. And he says it redlines at 14.5. Probably won't break it. I'm pretty sure I won't, because at 6,000 RPM, I'll be like, I need to shift. Oh, shit. I'm not even nowhere halfway to the red line. But we'll see how it goes.
And the thing of difference though with those bikes like Dallas is it's a 600, and the shifting though is so touchy. I mean, it's so sensitive. It doesn't take much. It ain't like a clank. You got to kick it in gear like a Harley. It ain't like that. So, I mean, it's so easy just to barely touch those gears, and before you know it, or before I knew it, I was already up in the highest gear, and I was like, damn, that was quick, getting into those gears. And because I had a 95 Kawasaki Ninja, and that was back when I was like 23, 24 years old. And I only owned it for about a year and a half, and I knew I was going to kill myself. So I got rid of it. So, and those old models was heavy, big and heavy, and just miserable sometimes to ride. So, but
you guys, I mean, I rode the Sportster S, which is 125 horsepower. I rode the Pan America, which is 150 horsepower, and I did 0 to 100 on it as fast as I could go.
And they'll do it
in a standard mode, not in sport
mode.
Yeah. Because I didn't want the front wheel coming up, even though I know it's got wheel mitigation and all that shit and everything. But 150 horsepower was pretty wicked. I expect 200 to be wicked. I don't think it's not that I can't handle it or anything, but I'm not going to go out and just, in the first 5 minutes,
drop in the first,
see how hard I can hit it.
I don't like first gear. I like second and third. On those bikes, I like the second and third gear. That's better than first any day of the week. So
Yeah.
I think, well, the main thing I like, I told Dallas, I was like, look, I need a straightaway with low traffic. That I don't want to get on here and ride it with, a bunch of traffic and shit like that. Because if I'm gonna open it up, I want to be able to open it up. I don't want to fucking some idiot pulling out in front of me because I'm doing 110 and someone thinking they can beat me on the turn and then me flying 200 yards down the road in the air. So, but I didn't get on it too bad. Like I said, I got about to 85, 90, and that was just within a little short distance there from his house. And I really enjoyed it. It ain't even at the 500 break-in mark or anything. I think it had 200 miles on it. So brand new. But yeah, I mean, I know some people may give him shit over it, but what's a bike lover if you can't like all kinds of bikes? That's what gets me. It's like, fuck, man, I love motorcycles. I don't just ride hard. Yeah, I own 2 Harleys, but I'll jump on any kind of fucking bike and ride. I don't care what it is. I like to have fun on 2 wheels. So now, would I go buy something like that? I don't know. Maybe not, but I don't care to ride them. It's not.
Doesn't mean it's not fun to ride.
That's right.
I got a Suzuki DR650. They call it the brush pig. It runs like a tractor. I mean, it won't lift the front. Yeah, if you do it right, it'll lift the front wheel off the ground. But it's not. It's 32 horsepower or something.
Yeah.
It's not big horsepower. It's not real heavy, but it's made for going down gravel roads and dirt trails and stuff like that. It's a lot of fun to ride. In the right environment. It's not a lot of fun to ride down the highway, down the interstate, because I've got as much knobby tires as I can get away with that are street legal. But different bikes have different purposes, and you have to admire who they're for or whatever else, and not be this like, oh, if it's not a Harley, it's junk. I mean, it may not be for you, but that doesn't mean it's not fun for someone else. I mean, I rode the Dyna today. Now her Dyna is a 2000 twin cam, carbureted, 88 cubic inch. Yeah. It's got short ass Vance and Hines exhaust on it. It's loud. It's carbureted. It's got a cam. It lopes. I mean, when you rack off the pipes on it, I'm just saying it right there. She comes up, you get a little tight in the pants, but it rides rough as shit. You feel every bump in the road. It wants to track down you every crevice. It's not got the suspension and the other things that the newer bikes have, but it has a different kind of appeal. It's fun to ride. It's just a different kind of fun.
Yeah. I like it. I like a carbureted. I like that potato. You know what I mean? That exhaust.
Somebody says potato my ass, potato my ass. I mean, it lopes. It's,
but I mean, I love that. I love the carbureted sound, the feel of them too. And like you said, they're, you have the right places to ride them. It's not, they're not for everybody. Like, I mean, it's just, I enjoy riding. I don't care what I'm on. Like I said, Rick said, Evil Rick, give him a mini bike. Hell, I can have fun on a mini bike. It's just got to be in the right place to ride it. But,
River.
Yeah, there you go. I mean, but I'm not a bias towards Indian. I'm not a bias towards, Yamaha or whatever other brands or Honda. Now, would I go buy one? Maybe not. Probably not. But would I jump on a Honda Go Wing and run it down the road? Right? Yeah, sure I would, because I'd like to see what it would do, or how it feels. I keep hearing all this shit about them.
Carpet rides, how they like to describe it.
Yeah, I mean, no clutch. I don't think I could deal with that one, though. I like having a clutch.
That Rebel 1100 I rode was a DCT model. You can manually shift it with a button. So you can manually control the shift if you want to. Okay. But you can also you just don't pull a clutch in, but you can manually control the shift.
Like those cars, so you just click, push.
Yep. But I'm going to tell you, if you have a disability, it's awesome. If you want to talk about slow speed maneuvers like a slow race, I'm going to tell you, if you show up with a DCT, you are going to be hard to beat. There was a guy at the Freedom Rally last year brought an electric bike for the slow ride. no clutch. It's electric. It's all throttle and brake. He just took a 1/3 of the equation out.
Yeah.
Now, I got this highlighted on the comment here. Mike Bowman. So the guy with the Ducati we've been talking about. If you saw the airstrip race, the electronics won't let it wheelie. So what he's talking about there, if you go back and you dig through his Instagram, is Mike went to Kansas City and he raced his Ducati for time down an airstrip in Kansas City, Steve. So you
Okay.
might want to find out when that is, because like there's multiple racers there. This isn't just something he did. It's a deal. It's an event.
Probably
And they
Richard
race on an
Bauer.
airstrip in Kansas City, and timed races. He did it with other motorcyclists and stuff. But it's pretty cool. But you can reach out to him, Mike, if you want to know more about it and stuff. But he runs that bike down the airstrip for quarter-mile drag strip.
Heck yeah, that's awesome.
Whatever it is.
Probably Richard Bauer, which used to be an air base.
But I'm sure he can tell you.
Yeah.
As far as motorcycles, I would like to ride a Kawasaki Vaquero. Have either of you ever ridden one? It's kind of their road glide.
Right. We can ask Mike, but I believe Bert the biker dog was on a Valcaro until this year, and he switched to the road glide.
No, I don't think I've ever rode. I don't think I've even seen one.
He liked he liked it, but he likes the road glide better.
I've seen a BMW now that looked pretty nice. I mean, it was a big touring, bike, and
the R18 with the boxer engine sticking out on the sides.
It wasn't like Adam Sandoval's. It was like a big touring, big bike with a big windshield and everything. And
probably the K1600.
It looked nice, but the guy was on the interstate next to a built motor, and he smoked that road glide. I mean, he smoked him, yeah. And I mean, I was like, damn, man, that's awesome. And the guy that on the road glide was like, well, I tried, I mean, they didn't shoot out from dead stop. They were doing like 50, and then both of them took off, and that BMW just smoked him,
That's got to be the K1600. So I have another channel, and I don't talk about a lot called Mike, where I talk about just different types of motorcycles because I enjoy learning about different motorcycles.
Mm-hmm. I do too.
I mean, I love my Harley, and I keep riding in the Ozarks kind of based on what I do, which is ride a Harley and stuff like that. But that K1600, people were like, well, compare it to compare the road glide to the K1600. I'm like, it's not fair. They're like, what do you mean? I said, it's not fair. There's nothing that compares to the K1600 for horsepower and torque in that class. That bike is, I'm looking up the specs now, but it's 652 pounds dry, so less than 700 pounds full, and I want to say it's like 160 horsepower.
See, yeah,
the wing doesn't compare.
Even a road glide with a built motor, you're not getting 160 horsepower.
Exactly. And
I mean,
a road glide built still not putting out 160 horsepower. This BMW K1600 is factory with 160 horsepower, and it weighs less than 700 pounds. And the road glide's going to weigh 1,000.
Yeah, at least. If they take parts off and do it 900.
Yeah, it's 900 stock. Yeah. But if you're doing dressed out or anything else and stuff, it's going to be pushing 1,000.
Yeah.
But either way, I don't, whatever. It's still several hundred pounds lighter and more horsepower, and that's stock.
Yeah.
So Mike Bowman said yes. Will loves his road glide. So Will, I think, was on a Valcaro and went to a road glide, and he liked the Valcaro. I mean, it wasn't a bad bike, but he loves the road glide. But that K1600, I don't know anything that looks like it.
No,
competes on horsepower like it does.
Yeah,
and that's why I didn't do it. They wanted me to do a comparison video. I'm like,
you can.
I'm like, okay, but it's not even going to be a competition between anything.
Yep. And I want to try the Pan America. That's the next bike I want to ride. I want to try it out. It looks tall. I know the suspension supposed to suit to your weight, but I'm a tall guy. And I was
You're
standing next to
fine.
one.
This little short fat fucker here wrote it.
I was standing next to one the other day, and I was like, "This is the first bike I feel like is actually, big enough, or maybe a bigger bike, And I want to try it out, but I want to try it out on dirt too, though. I don't want to just ride down the road, I actually want to try it on dirt. So,
well, I'm gonna give a shout out to Lake of the Ozarks Harley Davidson because they've been pretty good to me about some stuff. They let me come up and pick up the Pan America and take it out for an afternoon by myself, go ride it anywhere I want to ride it, do whatever I want to do on it. I took it down gravel roads. I went to Swinging Bridges, which was closed, but it's a dirt road.
yeah.
I was goosing it and getting the traction control to kick in on the gravel roads. I got to test it on a twisty 2-lane back highway. I got to cut traffic at Camdenton, Lake of the Osage, Lake Ozark, Osage Beach area at 4:00 in the afternoon. I was cutting traffic like it was a sport bike at 100+ mile an hour. This thing is, to me, it is a sport bike on knobby tires. Now, I'm not a sport bike guy, so that may not be a fair comparison, but it's what I imagine a sport bike would be like on knobby tires. It just can go anywhere. It can do anything kind of thing. You can run it down the highway at high speed. You can run it off road. Is it perfect at one or the other? Probably not. But if you're a guy that wants to do all of that, it's pretty damn good.
Well, I mean, like this guy, what is Joshua or whatever, the Pan American just doesn't appeal to me, just not a bike. I mean, and the thing is, it's not that. It's the place I live. I can go off road, and like as soon as I pull out my driveway, I'm in a good place for that. And in East Tennessee, I've got so many places, and that's what interests me about it. Why I want to try it and the bad thing is, closest Harley dealership is 2.5, 3 hours away in every direction. So I'm like in the middle, so I'm not close enough to a Harley dealer to actually for them to get to know me like they know you or their regular customers, because I have to drive so far away. Then they want to give me like a test ride, like a guided ride. And I'm like, dude, I don't want to go through the city. Let me let me just take off and spend an hour or so or two on the bike, and that's the bad part of where I live on the plateau, up in the mountains. It's like, well, I can't just run over to bike nights every week because I wished I could, I wished I could get involved in certain dealerships and things like that. I just can't do it because I live so far away. And these people don't know me. If I was a regular person, them seeing, weekly or whatever, maybe they would get to know me better and would allow me to do something like that.
Well, I must say Lake of the Ozarks didn't just let me do it, right off the bat. That was, a couple of years coming to events, getting to know them, things like that, and it was not a brand new bike that was sitting on the showroom floor. The owner had a bike and they'd been putting miles on it. So it wasn't like he gave me a bike. They were, literally like brand new with 0 miles. He gave me a bike he'd been putting miles on. He'd actually done a couple of custom things to it and stuff like that. And he let me take that bike out. Now, talking about getting to know the dealership, Steve, do you have a particular dealership there in, Kansas City area that you are really close to, that they know you on a first name basis?
Not first name, because Rawhide's the one that's closest to me. It's about 10 minutes away. Not bad. But the guy that sold me the bike, who I really liked, retired not long after I bought my bike. So they seem to kind of go through guys left and right. But that's my dealership because it's so close.
So Josh says, Laws Harley is a great business, my hometown Harley. Sounds like Josh is up in your neck of the woods and he's talking about riding down to Spring Fling, but he's not, he has to work. So I think he said he was coming in Saturday.
Well, Josh, I mean, I didn't take offense to that. I just, the area I live in, you got to understand, it's, we got rivers and creeks. I can take off and I know these mountains like, the back of my hand, and I can be going down the road and just take a left and go through the river, and that's what I'm talking about. Why I would enjoy it, but I'm so far away from dealerships and do things like that, that's why I'm interested in it. I want the off-road part, because the dirt bike, I've rode a dirt bike when I was younger and all that. I just don't. I mean, I love dirt bikes, but man, they wear me out. I'm my age and my disability. You know, I need something better, more comfortable, and I think that would really be, you know, something that would be better for what I wanted to do. You know, off road. So. Because I can jump on the road and just take off and go freaking across the country as well on it. You know, I mean, that's what I like about it. So
we have a lot of the Mark Twain National Forest in my area down here, so I can go literally 10 minutes and hit Mark Twain National Forest, hit gravel roads, forest roads, what they call trail roads and stuff, but they're roads, but they're not well maintained. You may hit a big ass mud hole in them.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
okay. On a Pan America or a BMW, I've rode a BMW GS down one. A friend of mine owned one of those. Let me ride it. I don't do videos on everything I've rode. I mean, I probably rode 35, 40 different bikes, models, not just Harleys, but BMWs, Suzuki's, Hondas in the last 3 years. I do try and ride different bikes, and partially because of this channel, because when I talk about other stuff, or when someone says, oh, well, have you rode an Indian Challenger? I want to have a place to speak from. I want to be able to say, even if it was just a demo ride, yeah, I tried it. Here was my gut reaction. There might be more to the bike than what I found or saw in that 10-minute ride. But this is kind of, initially I didn't love it, or initially I did love it. I'll be honest, I love the BMW R18 a lot more than the Indian Challenger.
Yeah, I do too.
But that's having a open mind. And Bowman says, hey, y'all, I'm turning in for the night. My weekend in Eureka Springs for Switchback's party wore me out. Mike, I'll see you in a couple of weeks at Spring Fling.
I'll see him, and if he's coming down here. Is that the one that said he's coming to?
That's coming to Loretta's.
Okay, well, I just look for this face. Trust me, I'm not. I can be seen pretty good. I'm not hard to miss. So
well, we've gone
just the guy that's talking. Just find the dude that's talking the most.
We've gone 3.5 hours, and so
hey, I appreciate you letting me come on, buddy. Yeah, I appreciate you letting me come on. I'll jump out of here so you can shut it down and do your thing, Steve, buddy. Ray, it's a pleasure always. Get on Instagram more, man. I wish I could talk to you more. I know you're a busy man, but I wish you'd get on there. I think he just wants to
ride in the Hoopty Mobile.
Yeah, man. Why not? Shit, that's good times, brother. All right, Mike. We'll see you later. Guys in the side chat, thanks for allowing me to come on and talk a little bit. So, all right. See you guys.
All right. Steve, thank you for joining me for the show tonight. We've had a good time. I'll probably trim some of this and just general bullshit off at the end of the podcast and stuff. But for everybody that's been watching, thank you guys for being a part of the stream and being a part of the community. We've had a great time. Love you guys all. Thank you for supporting the channel and supporting our show. Let's talk. And that's kind of the thing me and Steve and Firecracker have been working on here and stuff. So I hope you guys enjoy the content. And if you don't, you can send me a private message and tell me what a dick I am. But that's okay too. Actually, just send it to Steve. He filters all my comments now.
I want to be a dick too. Come on. You can't hog it.
I know. Everybody wants to be a dick with swinging balls. Not everybody. Some of them want to be tits, but 19% of the community.
I like tits.
All for it. Hey, Rudy, thanks for tuning in. And, everybody else that tuned in, Josh, we'll see you at Spring Fling. Make sure you come up and say hi if you can find us there Saturday night, me or Bagger Baiter. Steve, you may have to break down and order stickers or some shit. You're going to be like a social influencer now.
I've got stickers for my Facebook page.
All right.
Which is called The Road, a biker group.
Did you put this out on the road tonight? Did you get that opportunity when you signed in?
What's that?
Did you get to broadcast this on the road tonight?
No, I haven't done that yet. I mentioned that we were going to be on, and I think I still have that set up on a private thing, and I'm going to probably
need to create that StreamYard account and get that pushed out there.
Yeah. I'm going to probably open it up and allow anybody to join, and then we'll start posting this on there as well.
All right, guys. We want to thank everybody for joining in on the show tonight. We've had a great time. I want to thank Jeff from the Cathouse, even though he's not here. Pig Trail, Harley Davidson, Switchback Bar, Rock and Pig, everybody that's sponsoring Spring Fling, which was the topic for tonight, for putting on motorcycle events. I want to encourage everybody to go find a motorcycle event in your community, even if you can't make it to Spring Fling, because if you don't support these events, they will fall apart. They won't happen. And we need these kinds of events in our community. So, find an event you can enjoy and be a part of and support, and just be part of the community. We'd like to see you down the road. Good night.
Peace
Thank
out.
you, everybody.
Yep.